Hokage hundreds of millions of rewards. Chapter 121-140. Chapter 121 Young Seal. After the atmosphere was silent for a while, it was finally broken by Naruto. I'll just say, there is nothing in this world that can beat Shiyu. Naruto's words, Jiraiya couldn't help but ask, Shiyu, you really learned it? Not that Jiraiya doesn't believe Tokiha, because from Tsunade's confident face just now, this sealing technique needs to adapt to changes in his body structure. So, this is undoubtedly extremely difficult. But Shiyu completed this series of steps in only 5 minutes, which is undoubtedly astonishing. At this moment, even Tsunade couldn't help but question. Boy, are you sure you're not joking? You look like I'm joking. Tsunade was taken aback by Tokyu's answer, and after being stunned for a long time, he continued to ask. Since you said you will, then you condense the seal of 100 heroes and show it to me. Tsunade felt that it was useless to say more, and only the 100 heroes seal could prove everything. Okay. Shiyu replied indifferently, and then he was no longer talking nonsense. I saw that he didn't even have a hand seal, just a thought in his mind, and then a low drink came out of his mouth. Seal of Baihao, condense it for me. As Shiyu's voice fell, an astonishing chakra surged from Shiyu's body. Immediately afterwards, they converged towards his forehead. 2 seconds. Under the astonished gazes of the Tsunade 4, Shiyu's forehead burst into a dazzling golden light, so dazzling that one could not look directly. When the golden light fades away, a golden mark. It is also in the public eye. Except for the color difference, the shape is exactly the same as the 100 heroes seal on Tsunade's forehead. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, Tsunade and Shizune were completely stunned. They never thought that Shiyu would develop a sealing technique, similar to Yin seal, in just 5 minutes. At this moment, everyone fell into a deep shock. Especially Tsunade and Shizune, who knew the reason. At this moment, their open lips could fit an egg. From their shock until Shiyu's voice sounded. Grandma Tsunade, now you can believe it. Tsunade, who heard the words, was stunned for a while, not knowing what to say for a while. Facts in front of her eyes, can she not believe it? After taking a deep breath and calming down the shock, Tsunade finally opened his red lips again. Shiyu, how did you do it? From Tsunade's point of view, Shiyu was able to successfully condense the seal of 100 heroes, which means that he has realized the sealing technique, suitable for men. It's very simple. I tried it when you told 100 heroes seal that you need to use Yin seal to seal La, but as you just said, this sealing technique should be used directly. It's not so much that this sealing technique is not suitable for me, it is better to say that it is not suitable for all men. So I used myself as a medium to improve. Said, Tsunade's heart sank. Shiyu didn't specify anything in his words, but it could be heard that the latter already knew that the Yin seal was only suitable for women. And Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, also heard the tricks. At this moment, Jiraiya finally knew why Tsunade dared to be so sure that Shiyu couldn't learn. It turned out to be because of this. But what he did not expect was, Shiyu is so evil, and in just 5 minutes, he can improve a sealing technique that is only suitable for women. This kind of talent is really against the sky. Although Tsunade felt that it was not authentic, he didn't say anything. After all, the latter also reminded Shiyu earlier. It is said that this Yin seal will need to be adjusted accordingly due to the different physical conditions of each person. It can be seen from this. Tsunade wasn't completely deceived, she still showed Tokyo the way. Knowing Jiraiya's gaze, Tsunade also looked away embarrassedly. To avoid embarrassment, she immediately changed the subject. Shiyu, listen to you, you have realized a new sealing technique based on the Yin seal. Shiyu nodded, then said, I call this improved sealing technique Young seal. Open black lens bracket Young seal close black lens bracket. Tsunade muttered, and nodded subconsciously. Woman has strong yin in her body, so it is named Yin Seal. Man has strong yang energy, and the name, Yang Seal, has the same effect. The two complement each other. You, although you understand the Yang Seal. But it doesn't mean you won this bet until you learn the 100-100 technique. This was undoubtedly Tsunade's last fluke, although she thought the odds were too low. But people always have dreams, especially someone like her who is addicted to gambling. However, before Tsunade handed over the hand seal method of the 100 heroes to Tokyo, the latter's answer made her instantly dumbfounded. Grandma Tsunade. I'm sorry, I've already learned this 100 hero technique. Oh. Tsunade responded lightly, but in the next second, he suddenly realized the shocking nature of the matter, and immediately shouted. What did you say you learned? Yes. Seeing Tokyo nodded, Tsunade's face was full of doubts. At this moment, it wasn't that she had doubts, even Naruto, who completely believed in Shiyu, had doubts in the eyes. Because Tsunade hasn't taught him anything yet, so you say you know it. It's too unbelievable. At this moment, Shizune, who had been silent for a long time, said, Shizune, are you kidding us? As a student of Tsunade, she naturally knew the difficulty of the 100 heroic art. Moreover, the seal of each spell is created by the developer. If the developer does not disclose it, how can other people know? Sister Shizune, do you look like I'm lying? Seeing Shiyu's serious face, Shizune was also stunned and asked involuntarily. But Tsunade-sama didn't teach you the 100 heroic art. But she just told me the principle of the 100 heroes technique. Shizune was stunned for a moment, then said in astonishment, you mean that you have comprehended the 100 heroes technique by yourself based on those principles? Is there any problem? Shizune and Jiraiya were completely dumbfounded by Shiyu's understated answer. This is too pervert. Tell you a principle of ninjutsu, you can directly understand it. Is this something that people can do? That's why the eyes of the three people are full of doubts. But only Naruto, the idiot, didn't know what was amazing about it. His thoughts were very simple, and Shiyu was omnipotent. Tsunade, who had regained his senses, couldn't help but ask. Shiyu, can you show me the 100 heroes technique that you have comprehended? Please download Feifei. Chapter 122 Shizune's heart flutters. From Tsunade's point of view, to prove the truth of what Tokyo said was just to see if the latter could perform the 100 heroic art, which was undoubtedly the easiest way. Yes. Shiyu agreed without hesitation, because he also wanted to know what kind of increase he would get after using the 100 heroes technique. Immediately after. When Shiyu's thoughts moved, a low voice could be heard from his throat. Yang Seal, solve it. Open black lens bracket ninja creation and regeneration close black lens bracket. As Shiyu's voice fell, the golden mark between his eyebrows began to spread to various parts of his body. Blink of an eye, it was all over the body. Looking at the familiar lines of 100 honored patterns, Tsunade and Shizune were speechless. Because what Shiyu displayed was the same as Tsunade's, and even the 100 heroes pattern was more delicate. Tsunade also had an unbelievable look on his face. She never thought that Shiyu not only created the Seal of Young in this short 5-minute period, and even comprehended the 100 heroes technique to a level even deeper than hers. Before Tsunade and the others were startled, Shiyu was feeling the power boost brought by this 100 heroes technique. At this moment, he felt that his vitality was extremely strong, and the strength of his body had also been greatly increased. He thinks that the current one can also be like Tsunade a few days ago, a finger to break the mountains and rivers. Open black lens bracket Baihouse status close black lens bracket plus open black lens bracket elementary sage body close black lens bracket. Shiyu feels that the first 7 gates of open black lens bracket the 8 inner gates close black lens bracket can be squandered freely. Because his chakra is extremely strong, there is no need to worry about the problem of Baihouse state disappearing. When Shiyu finished feeling the increase of Bai-Hao state, Tsunade and the others were still there. They stared at themselves stupidly. That look was as if he was looking at a monster. Shiyu pervert got 2 hand seals without using a hand seal. This kind of thing only exists in legends. It is said that only the founder of ninja sect, 6 Paths Immortal, has this ability. Therefore, Jiraiya is more and more sure of the speculation of open black lens bracket Fukasaku Immortal close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Shima Immortal close black lens bracket. Shiyu, it is very likely that the 6 Paths Immortal was reincarnated. Seeing everyone's appearance, Shiyu directly removed the 100 heroic state and said, Grandma Tsunade, Sister Shizune. Although I'm handsome and excellent, you shouldn't stare at me like this. Use ridicule, Tsunade. Shizune and the others finally recovered from their astonishment. But their eyes never left Shiyu's body, and the first person to speak was Tsunade. Jiraiya, you're right. He is indeed better than 4th Hokage, and, much better. I told you long ago that you didn't believe it. Between the words, Jiraiya looked at Tokyo with both stunned and relieved eyes. Such an almighty apprentice, there is absolutely no second one in the world. If it wasn't for Shiyu being too young, he would have the urge to make Shiyu the 5th generation Hokage. However, his idea is doomed to fail. Because, Shiyu has no interest in the position of Hokage. Naruto still does not know what is going on, but in his eyes there are only 2 words, brilliant. It's over. After calming down, Tsunade. Shiyu, tell me your conditions. Hearing Tsunade's words, everyone was hooked again, and they wanted to know what conditions Tokyo would make. After all, Tsunade said it himself. It is an unconditional promise to whatever Shiyu proposes, so even if Shiyu asks her to be the 5th Hokage, she cannot refuse. And Tsunade is worried about this condition now. However, before Shiyu could speak, Jiraiya came over and said, Shiyu, you can let Tsunade marry me, hehe. Lustful fairy, you are too shameless. Naruto sneered, and then said, Shiyu, let Grandma Tsunade be the 5th generation directly. Hokage, well, then our mission is complete. Hearing Naruto's words, Tsunade became more and more uneasy. She was really worried that Tokyo would make this condition. Because she is not ready yet. Under all the gazes, Shiyu's voice also sounded slowly. A lecherous immortal, you have to work hard to marry a wife, and a marriage that is not mutually pleasing is unhappy. And Naruto, Grandma Tsunade doesn't want to be the 5th generation Hokage, yet, this twisted melon is not sweet. Shiyu's words, Jiraiya and Naruto were slightly taken aback, but they didn't refute either, because they thought what Shiyu said was very reasonable. Especially Naruto, now Shiyu's words are equal to the imperial edict in his eyes. As if what the latter said was right. When Tsunade heard Shiyu's words, she also showed gratitude in her eyes. She didn't expect Shiyu, a teenage boy, to be able to see so clearly. Felt that she had lived in vain for more than 50 years. At this moment, the look in her eyes towards Shiyu changed again. The first change was because of Shiyu's pervert talent, and the second change was because of Shiyu's remarks, which made her look up to her. As a woman, her feelings are very deep. Not only her, but Shizune is no exception. She never thought that no one could attract her in her 20 years of life. Today, I was moved by a young man. Although it was only for a moment, it was a fact. Looking at everyone, Shiyu continued, so, my condition is. Open black lens bracket day close black lens bracket let's talk about it later. When Shiyu said this, everyone was stunned. They didn't expect Shiyu to think about it for so long and give such an answer. If Tokyo wanted Tsunade to become the 5th Hokage, there was another way. Why waste this opportunity? One move Koto Amatsukami is enough to solve the problem. But the problem is that he can't always use demonic illusion to control Tsunade, so if you continue to use it, then Koto Amatsukami don't want to cool down. This is obviously not the result he wants. Shiyu wants Tsunade to be willing to be the 5th generation Hokage, and at the same time, let the latter overcome the blood of fear. As for how to do it, Shiyu has already thought about it. Shiyu, you don't mention it today. If you can't find me in the future, don't blame me for not fulfilling my promise to avoid you. No. Oh, you are so confident. I've always been so confident. Looking at Shiyu's sworn appearance, Tsunade didn't say anything, and a bright smile appeared on his face. That's up to you. After this incident came to an end, Tsunade invited guests that night to celebrate Shiyu's successful graduation. In this regard, Jiraiya and others have no doubts. Now that Tsunade has learned everything about Tsunade, even if Tsunade doesn't want to go back to Konoha, 5th Hokage Tokiha is also capable of saving Sasuke, Kakashi and others. It was indeed something to celebrate. Although Jiraiya didn't have much doubt, she kept an eye on it. Because tomorrow is Tsunade's appointment with Orochimaru, he must not lose the chain at this critical moment. Accident that night, and no one was drunk, and everyone went back to their rooms smoothly. But Jiraiya also made double insurance, and went straight to the night without sleeping. Despite being so cautious, she still got hit. Tsunade, who is a medical ninja, secretly planted a nerve-paralyzing poison that Jiraiya and the others couldn't even notice. Especially this kind of neurotoxin comes on slowly, and it will make a person's body not obey in the back. Although Shiyu found out, he didn't break it. Because this was part of his plan, and everything was under his control. The next day, Tsunade waited until the neurotoxin fully worked, and left the hotel to find Orochimaru. Undoubtedly, she already has Decision 5 in her heart. Chapter 123 Orochimaru, I want your life. Seeing Tsunade leave the hotel, but Jiraiya is powerless to stop. Because now he is paralyzed, even walking is difficult, let alone making chakra. I have to hurry to find Shiyu. Jiraiya knows that Tokyu's medical ninjutsu is no longer under Tsunade, and as long as he finds the neurotoxin on him, it should be solved. Otherwise, there will be no recovery in a short period of time. When Jiraiya went to find Shizune, he met Shizune who was in a hurry. Seeing Jiraiya like this, Shizune also asked, Sir Jiraiya, what's wrong with you? I was drugged by Tsunade. Fortunately, I ate less last night, otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to recover like this. Shizune wrote. Last night's meals were all carefully prepared by Tsunade, who added colorless and odorless neurotoxin to every dish, even Shizune couldn't detect it. And since 2200, it's not right to eat too much, the key is that he is still greedy for cups. This caused his situation to be the most serious. Looks like Tsunade-sama has left. Shizune muttered to himself, and then said, Lord Jiraiya, let me give you a simple treatment. While it can't completely eliminate neurotoxins, it can at least allow you to return to normal mobility. Seeing Jiraiya nodding, Shizune immediately gave Jiraiya a simple treatment. After returning to normal activities, Jiraiya found that he could slowly create chakra. Feeling his current physical condition, Jiraiya also murmured. It seems that it will be impossible to return to peak state for a while. Hearing Jiraiya's words, Shizune said, Lord Jiraiya, this neurotoxin is hidden in cells, and with my current ability, I can't remove it all in a short time. If you want to get back to your peak state, I'm afraid only Tsunade-sama can do it. I don't think so. Jiraiya replied to Shizune, and then said, you won't forget my apprentice. Shizune was slightly taken aback when she heard the words. She obviously forgot Shiyu, the pervert, because she was too anxious. Today's Tokyo has obtained the true inheritance of Tsunade, and his medical ninjutsu is no longer under Tsunade. As long as Shiyu takes action, it will definitely be completely eradicated. But at the moment, they are worried about one thing, that is, Shiyu doesn't know what the situation is now. Since they have all been recruited, then Yutai will be no exception. Because Shiyu also ate those meals last night. But when they were about to find Shiyu, the latter appeared, and the first sentence made them look stunned. The lecherous fairy, Shizune's sister. Did Grandma Tsunade leave alone? You know. Jiraiya rode. I felt a little paralyzed in my nerves before, and I became alert. Shiyu replied, and continued, it seems that Grandma Tsunade has planned for a long time, so she gave us the medicine last night. Then are you all right? Shizune asked. It took me some time just now to get rid of the gods. That being said, Shiyu had eliminated these toxins last night. Shiyu, how long will it take to remove these neurotoxins? Jiraiya asked. Because the neurotoxin has spread to the whole body, it may take a long time to remove it completely. How long? Jiraiya said anxiously. 1 minute. As soon as Shiyu said this, Jiraiya and Shizune were stunned for a moment. 1 minute, you told me that it was a long time, I'm afraid that you are long. Is there any misunderstanding of this concept? At this moment, they deeply feel what is pretending to force. 2 minutes later. Also thoroughly remove the toxins from Shizune and Jiraiya, which shows that Shizune's medical ninjutsu has reached a very high level. Jiraiya asked after returning to peak form. Do you know where Shizune, Orochimaru and Tsunade met? Just where we last met. Then let's hurry over now, it will be too late if Tsunade really heals Orochimaru's hands. Shiyu and Shizune also nodded to Jiraiya's words. Because Shiyu felt that the time was almost there was no need to delay any further. What he did this was to restore Tsunade to its former appearance, and to let the latter go back to be the 5th Hokage willingly. Therefore, this battle with Orochimaru is unavoidable. But just as the three of them were about to set off, Naruto appeared alive. Shizune, lecherous fairy, big sister Shizune. What are you three doing here? Seeing this, Jiraiya and Shizune were also slightly taken aback. Because the little guy Naruto ate the most food last night, but now the latter is not at all, the lecherous fairy, I guess it should be Kyuubi, 9 tails, that gave Naruto the power. Hearing Tokyu's words, Jiraiya nodded. It's possible. After the personnel arrived, they were also procrastinating with nonsense, and went directly to the place where the house collapsed yesterday. Meanwhile, Tsunade has met with Orochimaru. Tsunade across from him, Orochi's face also showed a stern smile. Tsunade, I knew you would come. I can help you heal your hands, but you can't move the village after it's done. Yes. Orochimaru responded with a smile, and then said, stop the ink, let's start. Obviously, he can't wait. How much pain the crippled hands have brought him during this period of time, it is a kind of torment that ordinary people can't bear. That's why he couldn't wait to heal his hands. Duh. When Tsunade walked up to Orochimaru, 4 figures flashed in his mind. The first 2 were open black lens bracket Kato Dan close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Senju Nawaki close black lens bracket. The latter 2 were Naruto and Shiyu, and it was also because of the appearance of Shiyu that she made her final determination. Next second. Seeing her eyes narrowed, she stretched out her hands and began to heal Orochimaru. However, just as her murderous hands were about to touch Orochimaru, she was forced back by a shuriken. Who took the shot was Orochimaru's right-hand man. Close black lens bracket. Da. Seeing the feeling of retreating to the back, Orochimaru's expression also became cold, and the mournful voice sounded again. Tsunade, I didn't expect you to want my life. Why are you doing this? Why are you giving me such an answer? Facing Orochimaru's question, Tsunade said to himself with wet eyes. Although people will pass away, some things will always exist in the heart. These things will not wither, they will continue. Because of the appearance of Shiyu and Naruto, she saw new hope in the one she loved the most. The continuation of their dreams made her give up the deal with Orochimaru. She wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and let out a soft drink. Orochimaru, you scum. I want your life today. Please download Feifei. Chapter 124 Sanin gathers together, one person persecutes in seconds. As the battle between Tsunade and Orochimaru started, Tokyu and the others also rushed all the way. However, when they arrived at the place where Tsunade and Orochimaru met, it was as empty as last time. The only thing that has changed is that this place is a mess at this time. The collapse of the walls on both sides of the house and the street in various poses shows that a battle has already occurred here. Looking at the scene in front of him, Naruto also exclaimed. How could this be? Definitely a good thing Tsunade did. Jiraiya thought for a while and came to this conclusion. So, Tsunade-sama rejected the deal with Orochimaru. Shizune wrote. Actually, I have already guessed the result. Shiyu's words, Jiraiya and the others were also stunned, and their eyes couldn't help but fall on the former. You guessed it. Jiraiya wrote. Shiyu nodded, then said, just yesterday when Grandma Tsunade was going to teach me the 100 heroic art, I vaguely guessed her determination. She has taught me all her life's hard work, and she is obviously ready to die. After Shiyu's little help, open black lens bracket Jiraiya close black lens bracket also suddenly realized. If Tsunade hadn't held that belief, he wouldn't have made a bet with Tokyu. Moreover, the time limit is still 1 day. Shiyu, since you have already guessed it, why didn't you tell us in advance? Shizune wrote. I'm just guessing, and I can't guarantee whether Grandma Tsunade will change her mind in the next second. Also, I didn't expect her to act alone. There's nothing wrong with what Shiyu said, but in fact he just didn't want to say it. For wanting to make Tsunade overcome his fear of blood. The fear of her, and the determination to automatically assume the role of the 5th Hokage, this problem must be faced by her alone. Only when she makes her own decision, everything will come naturally. The battle here has just happened, they should not have left this place too far, they should still be within Wuyuan town. Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto also said, then what are you waiting for, let's hurry up and find it. In response, Jiraiya and Shizune also nodded. Immediately after, Foursome 4 embarks on a journey to find Tsunade again. Because of the help of open black lens bracket dolphin close black lens bracket, plus open black lens bracket Wuyuan town close black lens bracket is not a big reason. Open black lens bracket dolphin close black lens bracket has a very sensitive sense of smell, comparable to Kakashi's ninja dog open black lens bracket park close black lens bracket. Therefore, it is not difficult for them to find the latter. At the same time, Tsunade and Orochimaru are fighting in a suburb of Wuyuan town. Originally, Tsunade had already defeated open black lens bracket Kabuto close black lens bracket head-on. Just when he wanted to put the latter at the mercy of him, Kabuto, this despicable villain, took advantage of Tsunade's blood. The fear of the former and the former lost their fighting power. You're afraid of blood, then I'll let you see enough. Kabuto between the words cut his palm directly, and the hot blood flowed out of the veins without any suspense. Seeing Tsunade trembling all over, open black lens bracket Kabuto close black lens bracket the fruit has been reached. Next second, I saw him rushing towards Tsunade with kunai. If nothing else happened, Tsunade who fell into fear and lost his ability to fight must be captured alive. Just at this critical moment, thousands of images flashed through Tsunade at this moment, and the figures she wanted to protect flashed past. Next second, her body suddenly stopped shaking. Touch! One punch directly knocked Kabuto into the air, causing the latter to smash heavily on a huge rock, and a mouthful of blood was finally spit out from it. However, Tsunade, who saw this scene, didn't look scared. Orochimaru and Kabuto were both surprised. Obviously the former saw blood a week ago. I was so scared, why did I overcome this fear in just a week? Orochimaru, do you really think I'm unprepared? Hearing Tsunade's words, Orochimaru also said, it seems that you have overcome your fear of blood. To be precise, it should have been just now. Between the words, Tsunade recalled the 5 days of teaching Shiyu, who used blood inadvertently every time. Stimulate her. At first it was animal blood. And then his own blood. Because of this, Tsunade has gotten used to it a little bit, but he hasn't overcome it yet. It was only after she made up her mind to continue the will of fire just now that she came out of that fear. Regaining her self-confidence, she is no longer afraid. Looking at the injured Kabuto, after Orochimaru, the latter is definitely unable to overcome the fear of blood. Tsunade. As one of Sannin, he naturally knows how strong Tsunade is. It seems that I will do it myself. Orochimaru's voice fell, but before he could make a move, a voice sounded. Orochimaru, your opponent is me. The next second after this voice sounded, a white smoke appeared in front of Tsunade. Boom! A wisp of white smoke drifted past, and Shiyu and his group of 4 used the blinking technique to reach the battlefield in an instant, blocking Tsunade in front of him. The moment Shiyu and the others appeared, Tsunade was also taken aback. She didn't expect the latter 4 to find them so quickly, which was completely unexpected to her. Because she is very confident in her neurotoxin. But when she saw Shiyu, she instantly understood something, and she couldn't help but murmured in her heart. It seems that his attainment of medical ninjutsu has surpassed mine. Tsunade was not the only one who was shocked at this moment, but Orochimaru and the reason why they brought Tsunade here was naturally because they knew that Jiraiya and Tsunade were together. Although Orochimaru is the most talented of the Sannin, he doesn't have the ability to beat Tsunade and Jiraiya together. Not to mention that Orochimaru's hands are now useless, and he can't hand seal at all. Moreover, these are all things in the past. Because the current Jiraiya is not what it used to be, after he used reverse spiritualism to go to Mount Myoboku and learned Sage Mode, his strength can already surpass Orochimaru. Jiraiya, long time. This was Orochimaru's first sentence when he saw Jiraiya, and his tone was clear. And Jiraiya still said in the tone of an old friend, "HMPH, your eyes are still so fierce." And when Orochimaru saw Tokyo standing beside Jiraiya, his expression suddenly froze. Kabuto, why didn't you tell me that kid was with them too? Lord Orochimaru, which brat are you referring to? Kabuto obviously didn't know which Orochimaru was referring to for a while. Shiyu performed well in the Chunin exam and already has the strength of Chunin or above. Secondly, Naruto is Kyuubi, Nine Tails, Ren Jinchuriki, Column Force, which is also worthy of attention. That's it. Takagawa Tokiha. Because Orochimaru didn't hide it deliberately at this time, as clever as open black lens bracket Kabuto close black lens bracket, he naturally heard a hint of fear in the tone of the former. Why Kabuto was puzzled. Why does Orochimaru, one of the three, look like the latter when he sees the latter? Could it be that the latter has a strength that even Orochimaru fears? This, Kabuto was also extremely horrified. His gaze towards Shiyu changed a lot, especially when he saw Shiyu's calm expression. He became more and more sure of this possibility. Orochimaru-sama, isn't that kid? Before Kabuto finished speaking, he was interrupted by Orochimaru. Withdraw. A simple word is enough to prove everything. However, how could Shiyu let them leave easily? Chapter 125 Futon, Wind Style Rasenshuriken. The moment Naruto saw Kabuto, his face was also extremely shocked. Shiyu, isn't that Kabuto, senpai? You can tell by looking at his forehead. Hearing Tokiu's words, Naruto's eyes instantly fell on the Kabuto forehead guard, only to see that it was not Konoha's pattern engraved on it. It's the pattern of Sound Hidden Village. Kabuto, senpai, he's under Orochimaru. After Naruto's doubts settled, Kabuto, who was on the opposite side, was the first to speak before Tokio could answer. Yes, I am a spy of Yin Village. Kabuto, don't talk nonsense with them, go away. Orochimaru said. The current situation is quite unfavorable for them, not only the other side has 2 Sannin. Moreover, there is another Toshiyu who doesn't know the depths of it. Orochimaru knows that even if his hands are not broken, if they confront each other, they will definitely lose. Orochimaru, you can't escape today. Jiraiya's voice fell, and she directly cast Doden, Earth-style, Swamp of the Underworld. Not good. Kabuto exclaimed, and immediately bit his finger and cast the spiritual art. He also signed a snake psychic beast, 2 huge python. After summoning the psychic beast, Kabuto and Orochimaru also got rid of it. Open black lens bracket Swamp of the Underworld close black lens bracket restrictions. Orochimaru, you can't run today. Open black lens bracket Spiritual art close black lens bracket. As the voice of feeling fell, a huge slug also stopped in front of Orochimaru and Kabuto. It was the psychic beast that Tsunade summoned from open black lens bracket Shikatsu Forest close black lens bracket. And when Naruto thought that open black lens bracket Orochimaru close black lens bracket killed open black lens bracket 3 Hokage close black lens bracket, his anger also burned. Look at me. Open black lens bracket Spiritual art close black lens bracket. With a wisp of white smoke floating out, Naruto also summoned the psychic beast of open black lens bracket Mount Myoboku close black lens bracket. Originally, he wanted to summon Toad Bunta, but with his current chakra, he couldn't do it. Quack. Naruto, you called me out, what's the matter? Speaks Toad Dragon, and his tone is very polite. Ah, what is it you? After Naruto complained, he immediately planned to use open black lens bracket Kyuubi, Nine-Tails chakra close black lens bracket to summon open black lens bracket Puuiantai close black lens bracket. But his intention was seen through by Jiraiya. Naruto, leave Orochimaru to us. But it's nothing, it's between the 3 of us. Jiraiya's tone was very tough, giving Naruto no chance to refute. Voice fell, open black lens bracket Jiraiya close black lens bracket did not talk nonsense, and directly performed open black lens bracket psychic technique close black lens bracket. Seeing that the situation was not good, Kabuto immediately used Orochimaru's blood. At the same time, the spiritual technique was displayed. Boom, boom, as 2 huge clouds of white smoke drifted by, One Snake and Toad Wentai also came into view of Tokiyu and others. Toad Wentai, when I saw this scene, I was also emotional. Open black lens bracket myriad snakes close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Orochimaru close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket Tsunade close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket slug close black lens bracket. It's been a long time. Jiraiya, are you classmates? Ms. Wen, don't tell cold jokes as soon as you come out. Jiraiya replied, and then Ashiki said, today I will be here Orochimaru. Open black lens bracket Wanshi close black lens bracket I heard the conversation between open black lens bracket Jiraiya close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Wentai close black lens bracket. His tone was full of dissatisfaction. Orochimaru, don't keep this shit on me. Seeing this scene, Tsunade said to Shizune and Naruto stay away from here. Good. Shizune, who heard the words, nodded, and then withdrew to the distance with the 2 of Shiyu. Shiyu originally wanted to take action, but if Jiraiya and Tsunade joined forces, he was too lazy to move. What's more, Orochimaru's hands are now useless, and his strength is greatly reduced because he can't use any ninjutsu. But when Toad Dragon saw this, he even waved to Toad Wentai as if nothing had happened. Hi, Dad. Toad Dragon, come here quickly. Hearing what Shiyu said, Toad Dragon also obediently came to Shiyu and others, and stayed with Dolphin. At this time, the psychic beasts of the 3 holy lands confronted each other. Get up. Under the command of the feeling of slug, I directly cast a secret technique unique to Shikatsu Forest. Open black lens bracket Lonaglossy acid close black lens bracket. Lonaglossal acid. Spit out corrosive liquid from the mouth of the slug to attack the enemy. After hitting, it can dissolve everything, and the attack effect is extremely strong. And open black lens bracket toad bunta close black lens bracket and Jiraiya teamed up to use open black lens bracket toad oil fire bomb close black lens bracket. The attack of the two psychic beasts blocked open black lens bracket one snake close black lens bracket and Orochimaru from two directions, but fortunately, open black lens bracket one snake close black lens bracket had the open black lens bracket skin slaughtering technique close black lens bracket. Otherwise, these two attacks will definitely make it seriously injured. If nothing else, Orochimaru's substitute technique is estimated to be derived from the Raichi cave technique. After a brief confrontation between the three psychic beasts, Orochimaru, who had no intention of fighting, also said, "Tsunade, even without you, I have other ways to restore my hands. The day I am reborn is when we meet again. Goodbye, Tsunade, Jiraiya, my buddy." Orochimaru's body was strangely integrated into the ground when the voice fell. This is the ability of his master of the earth attribute nature transformation. Even Tsunade and Jiraiya couldn't stop him for a while under the escort of open black lens bracket myriad snakes close black lens bracket. Moreover, it's too late for Jiraiya to open Sage mode now. Because of this technique, he needs to prepare for a long time before he can summon Fukasaku and Shima. Can only be said that Jiraiya still moved with compassion and did not show the strongest combat power in the first time. Damn. Tsunade said reluctantly, because there was nothing she could do. Slug's ability is healing, and basically has no combat power, and Wentai is comparable to One Snake in strength. So, trying to stop Orochimaru, who escaped under the protection of the many serpents, couldn't do it. But just as open black lens bracket Orochimaru close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Kabuto close black lens bracket were about to run away, Tokiyu's shout was heard. "The lecherous fairy, Grandma Tsunade! Flash away!" This voice, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru and others looked at the source of the voice. "I saw a huge shuriken at this time. It's flying towards them. But that's not the point. The point is that shuriken. It is made of chakra condensed. The most annoying thing is that the fuck will spin. There is no doubt that this is the ninjutsu created by Tokiyu by incorporating wind attribute chakra into Rasengan. Open black lens bracket futon wind style Rasenshuriken close black lens bracket." Jiraiya was also surprised when he saw this. Although he did not know the power of this move, he could see that this move should be a derivative of open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket. Moreover, Shiyu telling them to get out of the way definitely has his reason. In response, Jiraiya and Tsunade hurriedly controlled open black lens bracket slug close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket bunta close black lens bracket to step aside. Because this open black lens bracket Rasenshuriken close black lens bracket is not coming toward them, they can avoid it completely. But Orochimaru and Kabuto, who are guarded by open black lens bracket 100000 snakes close black lens bracket, are not so lucky, because this thing is coming toward them. At this time, they realize that it was too late to dodge. Although this technique was a bit special, Orochimaru and Kabuto felt that it was impossible to hurt one snake. Because even the chakra scalpel that they condensed in their hands could not cut the scales of the million snake, not to mention the thrown chakra shuriken. Going back 10,000 steps, even if you can hurt Hokage Jiao Wanshi, it will only be a flesh wound. Indeed, if you don't see the power of this ninjutsu with your own eyes, it's impossible to know how powerful it is. Terrifying. Who would have thought that this casual throwing thing was actually a superior ninjutsu move? Not only they think so, but also One Snake's own thoughts. HMPH, isn't it just a chakra shuriken? Watch me blow it away. Since it is unavoidable, Wanshi chose to minimize the risk of injury. I saw that its tail was thrown out, and I wanted to throw the open black lens bracket Rasenshuriken close black lens bracket away, and even wanted to directly knock it away. But the next second, it was dumbfounded. Because before its tail reached the Rasenshuriken, the latter exploded by itself. Open black lens bracket recentric and close black lens bracket. After a certain period of time, due to the high-speed rotation of the chakra, it will automatically spread even if it does not touch the entity. Finally exploded. With the spread of open black lens bracket recentric and close black lens bracket, that kind of powerful cutting force instantly enveloped open black lens bracket 10,000 snakes close black lens bracket and Orochimaru. See, that kind of sound makes people's scalp tingle. Please download Feifei. Chapter 126. The mood of that moment. Uzumaki, Jiraiya, Tsunade and others were also dumbfounded when they saw the energy that the open black lens bracket recentric and close black lens bracket exploded and formed. It would have been so high concentration of chakra. Throwing it out is already a very difficult thing. I didn't expect the power to be so pervert. They were still like this, not to mention the two Naruto and Shizune who were standing beside Shiyu, who were already stunned. At this moment, there was only one doubt in everyone's mind. That is, what kind of ninjutsu is this move? It wasn't until the energy Uzumaki that the recentric exploded disappeared, and a loud noise came out that made everyone recover from their astonishment. Boom! Hearing this voice, everyone's eyes were fixed on a deep circular pit in front of them. At this time, the wand snake was lying on the edge of it. Its entire body seemed to have tens of thousands of tiny pinholes, and blood was constantly flowing out. Looks extremely terrifying. This result wand snake is absolutely unexpected, and Wentai and Slug are also sweating in their hearts when they see it. The 10,000 snakes, known for their defense, still ended up in this situation. If it were them, they would most likely be killed on the spot. Bang! As a white smoke drifted by, the figure of Wand Snake also disappeared among the crowd. If the psychic beast does not die directly, it can take the initiative to return to the original space. With the disappearance of Wand Snake, Shiyu and others were beside the deep pit. After exploring the deep pit for 200 years, they did not find the bodies of open black lens bracket Orochimaru close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Kabuto close black lens bracket. Did they escape? Tsunade wrote. It seems that Wand Snake has resisted most of the attacks and won them a chance to escape. Jiraiya analyzed a sentence, then looked at Shiyu and asked, Shiyu, that trick is? Hearing this, everyone's eyes fell on Shiyu. Because they were equally curious about it, Shiyu didn't hide it as to why such a powerful trick would catch everyone's attention. That's when I combined Wind Attribute Chakra with Rasengan to create a new type of ninjutsu. I call it Recentrican. This, Jiraiya praised, incorporating the temperament of chakra into the already formed ninjutsu. This method is due to your imagination. This may seem like an opportunistic method, but it is more difficult than creating a ninjutsu. Because after a ninjutsu is formed, the best thing to strengthen is to improve it, and incorporating some new things can easily make ninjutsu directly collapse. I just had a fever in my head just now. I came up with this idea and tried it out. I didn't expect it to happen. As soon as Shiyu said this, everyone was immediately stunned. Listen, are you talking about people? What others may not be able to do even if it takes a few years, you can do it in a hurry. However, they were relieved when they thought of Shiyu's pervert's talent. Unfortunately, Orochimaru still ran away. Even though Shiyu said so, but in his heart, killing Orochimaru is actually irrelevant to him. With his current strength, if you want to kill Orochimaru's life, you can do it. It's just that he is too lazy to do it, because it's not good. The reason why he threw a spiral just now is to try the power of this move. In Shiyu's opinion, Wand Snake is undoubtedly the best test. As for whether he can kill Orochimaru and Kabuto, it is completely within his scope of consideration, and it would be best if he can obliterate them by the way. It doesn't matter if you can't. The tenet that Shiyu pursues is, don't do it for others, and don't bother to do it for others. Of course, except for the tasks of the system. He graduated as one of Sanin's and it's really hard to keep him. Jiraiya said a word, and then said, however, even if they escaped by luck, the price must be not small. If it wasn't for the 10,000 snakes as human shields, Orochimaru would never have been able to escape in that cut Uzumaki. Immediately after, Jiraiya's eyes fell on Tsunade. Asked, "Tsunade, what's your plan next?" "HMPH, please don't call me that in the future." "Don't call you that." Jiraiya was stunned between the words, and said with great joy, "Do you want me to call you Shaogongzuna or Little Hands?" "No, Xiao Shou Shou is too ugly. It's still Xiaogongang, what do you think?" "Jiraiya, how long have you been beaten by me?" Tsunade between the words was gearing up, looking at Jiraiya's mentality, a snort. "Ah, I was joking." Tsunade looked away from Jiraiya's voices of Tokiha and Naruto, then said, "From today onwards, I am the 5th generation Hokage." Clam. Naruto was surprised, he didn't expect things to change so quickly. For this result, Jiraiya had already guessed one or two when she felt that she decided to kill Orochimaru. Because only those who are determined to protect Konoha can do it, and being Hokage can do it better. Naruto, don't you agree? Jiraiya rode. Compared to 3 Hokage, Grandma Tsunade has a bad temper and self-willedness, and also likes to spend money. Is she really up to the job of Hokage? Hearing Naruto's question, Tsunade was instantly unhappy. "I thought to myself, what's the matter? One of the reasons why I took this job was not because of you. Little devil, if you don't agree, we'll fight it out again." "Humph." Naruto snorted coldly, and then said, "Don't always call me a kid, I'm going to be a Hokage sooner or later." Hearing this, Tsunade was stunned for a while, and then stretched out a finger. Naruto originally thought that the latter was going to bounce him off again, but Tsunade's jade finger was just a little bit on his forehead, and then said with a smile, "In the future, you can grow longer and more handsome, and become a great Hokage." Needless to say, from this moment on, Naruto was her younger brother (Senju Nawaki in Tsunade's eyes. Hearing Tsunade's words, Naruto was stunned for a moment, and then laughed. Of course. Immediately after, Tsunade's eyes also fell on Tokiyu, and a word was slowly spit out from her mouth. "Shiyu, thank you. Without you, I still don't know when I will be able to overcome the fear of blood." Tsunade finished speaking. Under the stunned gazes of several people, Tonbo point water close black lens bracket was placed on Shiyu's forehead. At that moment was really ecstasy. Jiraiya on the side was very envious when he saw this. He wanted Tsunade to give him one too, but he didn't have the courage. Tokiyu's mission is also 99% completed. The last step is to wait for Tsunade close black lens bracket to return to Konoha, and then you can successfully become fifth Hokage close black lens bracket with the permission of Fire Country close black lens bracket Daimyo close black lens bracket. This result is undoubtedly very happy. At the same time, Orochimaru and Kabuto, who were lucky to escape, are in extremely poor condition at the moment, and their bodies are covered with various bloodstains. Needless to say, it was obviously caused by the Uzumaki who were in recentric and close black lens bracket just now. Lord Orochimaru, I didn't expect that little devil to have such a powerful ninjutsu. If it wasn't for Lord 10,000 Snakes just now, I'm afraid we would be in trouble. Escaped. Kabuto looked like he was in a lingering fear between the words. Takagawa Tokyu, the stronger you are, the more excited I am. Orochimaru murmured as he looked at the distant battlefield, and then said, however, we have to get a good body first. While saying this, a face flashed in his mind. Uchiha Sasuke close black lens bracket. After the battle with Orochimaru, Tequila 5 returned to the hotel and after some rectification, they embarked on a journey back to Konoha. Chapter 127 The Curse of the Sky, the Second Form. On the way, when Shiyu and his group passed by open black lens bracket Yun no village close black lens bracket, Tsunade proposed to take a bath in Izumi. Originally, Naruto and Jiraiya refused to do so, because they thought it would delay their return to Konoha, but Tsunade won when it comes to mixed bath too. Jiraiya can't resist. Shiyu doesn't care, it's not bad to take a bath. Anyway, he's not in a hurry. As a result, Jiraiya was thrown by Tsunade, and the latter's hand was itchy when he arrived at Yuno village. Because if she returns to Konoha, she is afraid that she will not be able to gamble anymore. Although there were some small episodes on the way, Tokyo and the others finally returned to open black lens bracket Konoha hidden village close black lens bracket. Konoha advisors Homura Mitokado and Kaharu Udatane were also surprised when they saw Tsunade. They didn't expect Jiraiya to really get open black lens bracket Tsunade close black lens bracket back. As Konoha's top executives, they naturally know the reason why Tsunade left Konoha in the first place, which is why Jiraiya proposed to find open black lens bracket Tsunade close black lens bracket to be the open black lens bracket 5th generation Hokage close black lens bracket. They did not hold out much hope. Open black lens bracket Homura Mitokado close black lens bracket glanced at open black lens bracket Tsunade close black lens bracket, and then his eyes fell on open black lens bracket Jiraiya close black lens bracket, sighing. Jiraiya, I didn't think you could really invite her back. It's nothing. Jiraiya boasted and then said, Tsunade is always a woman, how could she refuse such a handsome guy like me? Ha ha ha. Hearing Jiraiya's words, Naruto couldn't help giving the latter a look of contempt. Open black lens bracket Kaharu Udatane close black lens bracket shook her head helplessly. She felt that it was fortunate that Jiraiya brought open black lens bracket Tsunade close black lens bracket back. Otherwise, if you let the latter be Hokage, this character will definitely not make you worry. Looks like we have to invite big names from all over the world to celebrate open black lens bracket Tsunade close black lens bracket as the open black lens bracket 5th Hokage close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Kaharu Udatane close black lens bracket murmured and then said to open black lens bracket Shiranui Genma close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Yamashiro Aoba close black lens bracket. Genma, Aoba, let the whole Konoha know about this. However, before open black lens bracket Shiranui Genma close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Yamashiro Aoba close black lens bracket could reply, Jiraiya was the first to speak. Wait. Until then, Tsunade, you still have things to do. Who is it, Jiraiya? Tsunade brushed a strand of hair, showing his mature charm to the fullest. Didn't I tell you on the way? Jiraiya said in a deep voice. There are Kakashi and Uchiha's little devils, and Gai's subordinate, Little Lee. Lustful immortal, let Shiyu go or not? Naruto wondered. This incident can obviously be done by Tokyo. He really can't figure out why Jiraiya is doing this. Obviously, with Naruto's IQ, he still can't figure out the relationship between them. Tsunade came back to inherit 5 generations of Hokage, this one letting her do things will help her image, and it will also be recognized by more people. This thing. On the way back, Tokyo told Jiraiya, and Jiraiya also praised Tokyo for this. Naruto, let's go with Grandma Tsunade. Hearing Tokyo's words, Naruto also nodded, he couldn't wait to see Sasuke and Kakashi. Immediately after, Tsunade, Tokyo and the others left the Hokage building, and went to the infirmary where Kaka was staying. But before they went downstairs, they met someone. Konoha think tank, Nara Shikaku and Shikamaru. The moment Naruto met Shikamaru, the first. Shikamaru, why are you here? I want to ask you something else. Shikamaru responded with a sound, and when he saw Tokyo was also present, he couldn't help but be a little puzzled. The two disappeared at the same time for a while, obviously what they were doing. As for the purpose, he obviously can't guess now. So he asked Shiyu. While they were talking, Nara Shikaku was also slightly taken aback when he saw Jiraiya and Tsunade, and hurried. Say hello. Jiraiya-sama, Tsunade-sama, long time no see. Oh, it's the kid from Nara's house. Between the words, Tsunade smiled slightly, glanced at Shikamaru, and then said, "This is your child." Yes. Seeing Shikaku nodding, Tsunade said again, "Have you? The deer antler that takes care of the deer is a good medicine." Of course there is. Hearing his father and his opponent, Shikamaru also began to wonder about Tsunade's identity. Although they had heard of the name of Konoha Sannin, they didn't know which Sannin was referring to those three people. Shikamaru saw that Naruto and Tsunade came down together. He thought that the latter might know Tsunade's identity, so he asked. "Naruto, who is that? The young woman who is not too young but is dragged to death." "She's the new Hokage." Naruto leaned into Shikamaru's ear and continued, "Don't look at her so young on the surface, she is actually in her 50s. Shikamaru was stunned when he heard the words, and the look in Tsunade's eyes suddenly changed drastically. "Shiyu, is what Naruto said true?" Shikamaru confirmed to Tokiha. "Just ask Uncle Shikaku." Tokiu replied, then smiled at Nara Shikaku and left with Tsunade and the others. Shikamaru, see you later. Naruto, who had finished speaking, also hurried to catch up with Tokiu and the others. Looking at the backs of Shiyu and the others, Shikamaru also asked, "Dad, what is the origin of the 5th Hokage?" Shikamaru, Konoha Sannin, you should have heard it. Shikamaru, who heard the words, was stunned for a moment, and then said, "Dad, you mean that woman is the legendary open black lens bracket one of Sannin close black lens bracket?" She's the most beautiful ninja I've ever seen, a flower in Sannin." Hearing Shikaku's words, Shikamaru also sighed, "Oh, female Hokage. I hate it. Women deal." That's why Shikamaru came to this open black lens bracket Hokage building close black lens bracket, because he is about to be promoted to open black lens bracket Chunin close black lens bracket. After a while, Tokiha, Tsunade and others finally came to Konoha's medical center, and the first place they went was Sasuke's ward. But to Toshiba's surprise, he didn't see Sakura in Sasuke's ward. This result made him wonder that Sakura likes Sasuke so much. Now that Sasuke is injured and hospitalized, it is reasonable for the latter to take this opportunity to accompany the former. But no, Sasuke's injury is not serious. Tsunade's jade hand stroked the former's forehead, and then said, "Okay, he'll wake up soon. Let's go to the next ward." Jiraiya rode. Seeing that everyone was about to leave, Shiyu said, "Grandma Tsunade, you go, I'll stay and take care of Sasuke." "I want to stay too." Naruto chimed in. "All right." Tsunade's voice fell, and he and Jiraiya and the others walked towards Kakashi's ward. Tokiu naturally has his purpose for staying. Comfort his little brother. Help him control the cursed seal of heaven. After Sasuke's destruction by Itachi Tsukuyomi, he definitely hopes that he can become stronger quickly. Has already helped Naruto to temporarily obtain the power of Kyuubi, 9 tails, so Sasuke naturally needs a little power to balance his heart. Today's Tokiu has the elementary sage body, which can help the power of Sasuke master Cursed Seal of Heaven. For example, second form of the Cursed Seal. Moreover, Shiyu has prepared a path for Sasuke to become stronger. This path is also related to the title quest promulgated by the System 5. Please read the underlined version of the novel download fly. Chapter 128 Sage Mode. After Tsunade and Jiraiya left, Sasuke finally woke up from his mental nightmare. "Sasuke, you're finally awake." Hearing Naruto's words, Sasuke, who had just opened his eyes, was still a little confused and said, "Shiyu, Naruto, what's wrong with me? It's not your brother named Uchiha Itachi. It's him who has seriously traumatized your mind," causing you to become unconscious and unconscious. Naruto explained, and then said, "But now, we have found Grandma Tsunade, and she has cured you." Grandma Tsunade. Hearing Sasuke's doubts, Tokiyu said, "She is one of the legendary Sannin and Konoha's current 5th Hokage." Sannin. Sasuke muttered, and there was a look of astonishment on his face. Because he has seen the power of Sannin, even 2200. Kakashi has no way to take him. No doubt that the Sannin that Sasuke saw was open black lens bracket Orochimaru close black lens bracket. Because the open black lens bracket curse seal of heaven close black lens bracket on his neck was planted by open black lens bracket Orochimaru close black lens bracket when Kakashi was training him, and after it was done, the latter could still calm down back off. Seen that Sannin's strength is strong. That's why Sasuke touched the curse of heaven on his neck, looking a little complicated. Coupled with being ravaged by Itachi, his desire to be fast has intensified again. Shiryu naturally saw Sasuke's thoughts, and immediately said, "Sasuke, let's take a good rest these few days. When you are completely healed, I will teach you how to control the power of Curse Seal." Sasuke, who heard the words, was stunned for a moment, his eyes fixed on Shiryu. Control the power of Curse Seal. Sasuke also thought about this kind of thing, but every time he used this power, his body was eroded. It was an unspeakable way. This Curse Seal power is, to put it bluntly, the control of natural energy, as long as Shiryu gives a little guidance and injects some natural energy to ease the Curse Seal power. After all, this Curse Seal power is not just natural energy but also the power of Orochimaru. Although Shiryu has not yet learned Sage Mode but has a 10,000 times talent background and elementary Sage body, he can still use natural energy, but he can't be pervert like that. And open black lens bracket Sage Mode close black lens bracket is to convert open black lens bracket natural energy close black lens bracket into stronger open black lens bracket Sage Art Chakra close black lens bracket, but open black lens bracket Curse Sealing close black lens bracket can't. Other words, open black lens bracket Curse Sealing close black lens bracket is open black lens bracket copy version of Sage Mode close black lens bracket. The specific method of this open black lens bracket Sage Mode close black lens bracket is only available in the open black lens bracket 3 Holy Lands close black lens bracket, and the forms are different. 3 Holy Lands. I don't know how long it has been passed down, how many years have passed, and how many generations of talents have created their own Sage Mode. If Shiryu wants to learn Sage Mode, there are only 2 ways to go: through 3 Holy Lands acquisition. Shiryu can comprehend a Sage Mode by himself, a kind of human Sage Mode. But the premise of this method is that his talent must go to a higher level. Otherwise, with his current talent, he may be able to, but he doesn't know how much time and energy he will spend to study it. Shiryu obviously doesn't know how to do such a boring thing. Seeing Sasuke's surprised look, Shiryu said calmly, "Why don't you believe me?" "No, it's just that I don't think that power is like an ordinary chakra," Sasuke said. "You're talking about this kind of power." There was a strange energy in Shiryu's hand between the words, "this kind of energy." The energy may seem unremarkable, but it is heart palpitating. Naruto wasn't quite sure about the natural energy in Shiryu's hand, but Sasuke was dumbfounded. Experienced the Curse Seal, he is naturally very familiar with this kind of energy, but to his astonishment, the energy in Shiryu's hands is much purer than his Curse Seal. "Now you can rest assured." Hearing Tokiyu's words, Sasuke also nodded heavily, and the worship of Tokiyu in his heart climbed to a higher level again. He felt that as long as Shiryu was there, it was only a matter of time before he surpassed. After hearing the conversation between Tokiyu and Sasuke, Naruto also asked, "Tokiyu, what kind of energy is this?" "You'll find out later." Shiryu didn't explain anything to Naruto, because it was no use telling the latter now. "Naruto, let's go see Kakashi, sensei." "Good." Naruto nodded, glanced at Sasuke and said, "Sasuke, then you have a good rest. we will see you later. Looking at the sight of Tokiyu and the two disappearing, Sasuke still had a back figure in his mind, making his eyes more firm. Uchiha Itachi, wait for me. When you and Naruto came to Kakashi's ward, the latter had already woken up from a coma. Only Tsunade and Guy were in the ward at this time. As for Shizune and Jiraiya, I don't know where they are. That Jiraiya, the old geezer, must have gone somewhere to get the material, and Shizune should be handling matters related to taking over the 5th generation Hokage for Tsunade. At this point, Guy pointed at Kakashi and joked. Kakashi. To be beaten up like this by two little thieves, how is this different from ordinary people, and I'm still treating you as a genius. Kakashi turned a deaf ear to what King Guy said. Seeing this, Guy also said, forget it, Master Tsunade, please go and see my little Lee. You and the two greeted Tsunade and Guy, and then they stayed and did not leave with them. After Tsunade left, Tokiyu also offered his condolences. Kakashi-sensei, how are you feeling? It should be fine. Hearing this, Naruto also asked curiously, Kakashi-sensei, is that Uchiha Itachi really that strong? It's no wonder that Naruto asked this question, because the latter was taken away from Jiraiya's hands last time. Who is Jiraiya? That is one of the legendary Sannin. Kakashi was silent for a long time, and then only two words came into his mouth. Very strong. An Inchi Yuliang 0. When the 5 Kakashi were talking, Tsunade and Guy had already arrived at Little Lee's ward. After Tsunade checked Little Lee, her calm face finally showed a dignified look. Undoubtedly, Little Lee's injury made her feel very difficult. Seeing Tsunade's silence, Guy's heart was also stunned, obviously feeling that something was wrong. There was no previous joking intent on his face, he said straight. How about Tsunade-sama? Hearing this, Tsunade was silent for a while, and then said, Little Lee, I advise you to give up being a ninja. As soon as these words came out, Little Lee and Guy were startled. If they were called the strongest medical ninja, the open black lens bracket Tsunade close black lens bracket can't cure Xiao Li's injury, they really can't think of anyone else in this world who can cure this person. In their opinion, this person does not exist. Fei Lu reminds you. Chapter 129 One after another shocked Guy. Ha ha ha. Emperor Guy gave a wry smile, and then said, Master Tsunade, you are really joking. I'm not kidding. Bone fragments have penetrated deep into the central nervous system. Such a body cannot perform any tasks, even surgery is useless. Hearing Tsunade's words, Emperor Guy burst into tears instantly. At this time, he didn't know what to say, he could only stare at the little Lee sitting in the chair in a daze. The atmosphere was silent for a while, and was finally broken by Little Lee. There is no hope of healing. Little Lee's tone was a little quiet, but everyone could hear the strong hope in his voice. Not only is this surgery extremely risky, but it also takes a lot of time to talk about it. At best, the success rate is only half. If you fail, you will die. Hearing the expressions of Xiao Li and Emperor Guy here, he was suddenly startled. However, Tsunade's words continued. Furthermore, even if it succeeds, it's not an overnight thing to recover. As soon as these words came out, Little Lee resisted the tears in his wet eyes. It was his childhood to become a ninja. His dream, if it ended there, his life would be meaningless from now on. It was a gray life without color. Little Lee Chang didn't cry in despair, just left the room quietly. Undoubtedly, he wanted to be alone for a while. Watching Little Lee leave the room, Tsunade also said, Guy, I can understand his mood. But I think I still have to tell him the truth. If I knew this was the result, I shouldn't have brought you here. Guy choked up. Hope is followed by despair. This is the most unacceptable thing. After the two were silent for a while, Tsunade said suddenly, as if thinking of something. Guy, maybe there is someone who can improve the success rate. Hearing Tsunade's words, Emperor Guy was slightly taken aback. Because as far as he knows, Tsunade is undoubtedly the first person in the current ninja world to say medical ninjutsu. Otherwise, Orochimaru wouldn't go to great lengths to find the latter. Master Tsunade, you don't have to console me. In Guy's opinion, Tsunade may have seen himself and little Lee like this, so he wanted to fabricate a lie to give them hope. If they had pinned their hopes on Tsunade before. I'm not consoling you, I'm just saying that this person may improve the success rate of the operation, but he has to listen to him as to whether he can. Where is this person? Guy Royal Road. He's in Konoha. What? Between the words, Emperor Guy had a look of astonishment. He originally thought that Tsunade would say something illusory, but he never thought it would be the answer. Not only that, but you know him too. I know too. At this moment, Emperor Guy was even more shocked, because no such person seemed to exist in his memory. Countless faces flashed in my mind, but Emperor Guy denied them all, and finally he could only ask Tsunade for advice. Master Tsunade, who is he? Takagawa Tokiha. Hearing the name, Emperor Guy instantly froze in place. Because this result was completely beyond his expectations, he didn't even think about breaking his head. After being stunned for a long time, Emperor Guy finally couldn't help but ask, Master Tsunade, are you saying something wrong or joking? If it's the former, then he can still accept it. If it's the latter, he will definitely feel resentment towards Tsunade. How can he still joke at this time? I didn't say it, I'm not talking. Tsunade replied solemnly, and then said, if that brat completes all my medical ninjutsu within 5 days, you won't be able to do this. 5 days. Nice. Tsunade nodded and continued, I know there are sons Jiraiya, Shizune and Naruto about this matter. If you don't believe it, you can go to them to verify. I can tell you with certainty, that kid's medical skills are no longer under mine. Hearing the words, Emperor Guy sucked in a breath of cold air. At this time, his shock was not only on his face, but also in his heart. Tsunade is so determined, obviously he is not lying. After calming down, Emperor Guy also said, Master Tsunade, I will take my leave first. When the voice fell, Emperor Guy didn't wait for Tsunade to respond, whoosh. A sound, it disappeared in front of the latter's eyes. Looking at the door where the former Emperor Guy left, Tsunade also muttered to himself. Shiyu, I hope you won't let him down. And when Guy Wangfei ran to Kakashi's ward, I found that Tokiha and Naruto had disappeared. Kakashi, what about Tokiha? Seeing Emperor Guy's excited appearance, Kakashi looked puzzled. Didn't you accompany Tsunade-sama to see little Lee? Why did you ask Shiyu? It's not because Tsunade-sama said that Shiyu might have a way to cure little Lee. Hearing what Emperor Guy said, Kakashi became even more puzzled. Tsunade, who is known as the best medical ninja, can't do anything. What can that yellow-haired boy Shiyu do? I just found out too. When the voice fell, Emperor Guy also simply repeated Tsunade's words to Kakashi, but Kakashi was dumbfounded by his words. He knew that Shiyu's talent was different from ordinary people, but he didn't expect the latter to have perverted to such an extent. After some conversation, Emperor Guy finally found out about Tokiyu's whereabouts. Tokiyu and Naruto seemed to be going to eat ramen. So, Emperor Guy flew directly to open black lens bracket Ichiraku Noodle House close black lens bracket. At the same time, Ichiraku Noodle House was in. Hi. Naruto took a bite of the ramen, and then said happily, Uncle Ichiraku, your ramen is still delicious. Naruto, Shiyu, in order to show that you have successfully brought back the new Hokage, I will invite you guys for free this meal. Really? Of course it's true. Ayame laughed. Sister Ayame, if this is the case, you are probably going to lose money today. Hearing Shiyu's words, Ayame smiled, and even Iruka, who was beside him, couldn't help but let out a smirk. They can clearly hear that Shiyu deserves to be Naruto. Because this guy has already done 4 or 5 bowls in a row as soon as he hears that he is free, and there is no sign of stopping. Naruto stopped when Iruka's next sentence sounded. Shiyu, Naruto. Although you didn't get promoted to Chunin this time, don't be discouraged. Iruka-sensei, if the Chunin exam didn't stop halfway, Shiyu and I would definitely be able to get promoted. Naruto wrote. However, this time, one person was successfully promoted to open black lens bracket Chunin close black lens bracket. What? Hearing Iruka's words, Naruto instantly lost his calm. He didn't expect this Chunin exam to end early, and how excellent it would be to be promoted to Chunin. After some thought, Naruto also hurriedly asked, Iruka-sensei, who is it? However, before Iruka could answer, Shiyu was the first to say, if I guessed correctly, this person should be open black lens bracket Shikamaru close black lens bracket. Hearing this, Iruka and Naruto were both stunned. Iruka was surprised that Shiyu had guessed it all at once, while Naruto was surprised why open black lens bracket Shikamaru close black lens bracket was promoted to open black lens bracket Chunin close black lens bracket. You must know that the latter is his defeat. Even his winner was 200 and did not get promoted to Chunin. Instead, Shikamaru, who lost the game, got promoted. In this regard, his heart is naturally depressed. Originally, Naruto still had doubts, until Iruka's voice sounded, so he had to believe this fact. Shiyu, how did you know? We met Shikamaru when we came out of the Hokage building just now. If nothing else, he should have gone to register for Chunin qualification. Answer, Iruka was also surprised. Shiyu, you are still as smart as you are. That's right, this time only Shikamaru was promoted to Chunin among all the candidates. After being confirmed, Naruto also raised the doubts in his heart. Iruka-sensei. I obviously won Shikamaru, but why is he promoted? Naruto. Have you forgotten the rules of the Chunin exam? Chunin considers all aspects of ability, not just winning. Although the Chunin exam was terminated this time, Shikamaru showed all his abilities when he fought with you. This is obvious to all. Hearing what Iruka said, Naruto can only accept this reality. In his opinion, as long as Sasuke is not promoted to Chunin, he can accept it. Falling in love and killing each other, it was said that it was the two of them. At this moment, Emperor Guy finally came to open black lens bracket Ichiraku Noodle House close black lens bracket. Shiyu, I have found you. His words made Iruka and Naruto puzzled, but they didn't know that didn't mean Toki you didn't know. Mr. Guy, Grandma Tsunade asked you to come to me. When Shiyu said this, the three of them were stunned. Iruka and Naruto were completely at a loss, while Emperor Guy was shocked. He has always heard that Shiyu is very smart, and today he finally saw it. Chapter 130 Hashirama Cells. Just as Emperor Guy came back to his senses, Shiyu's words shocked him again. Mr. Guy, let's go. Stunned for a while, Emperor Guy also said, Shiyu, you will no longer know my purpose. Kakashi, sensei has already woken up. Now, besides little Lee, who else can make you so anxious? Responding to Guy, Shiyu said to Iruka, Mr. Iruka, eat slowly, and Mr. Guy and I will go see little Lee. Good. Between the words, Iruka was still confused, completely confused. It's understandable that Guy is worried about Xiaoli, but why did the latter come to see Xiaoli with Shiyu? That's the key. Watching Shiyu and Emperor Guy gradually go away, Iruka couldn't help but ask. Naruto, do you know what's going on? I guess Mr. Guy asked Shiyu to see a doctor for little Lee. Naruto said thoughtfully. Although he is a bit clumsy, he is not stupid. Emperor Guy said that Tsunade asked him to come to Shiyu, and Shiyu is already a famous medical ninja. So, this is very reasonable. As for why Tsunade asked Emperor Guy to come to Shiyu, Naruto didn't understand for a while. What did you say to ask Shiyu to see a doctor? It's understandable that Iruka was so shocked, because in his memory, Shiyu didn't know any medical skills at all. Regarding Iruka's doubts, Naruto simply recounted what happened in Wuyuan Town, Short Book Street. Was Naruto's simple words that shocked Iruka beyond measure. Not that Iruka is not calm enough, any person would be like him in this kind of thing. The previous Emperor Guy is the best example. Looking at the direction in which Shiyu and Emperor Guy disappeared, Iruka was stunned. After a while, Shiyu came to Konoha Hospital with Emperor Guy again, and then went straight to Little Lee's room. However, they did not find Little Lee in the ward, but on the balcony on the roof. At this time, Little Lee seemed unusually calm, but in fact he was struggling. He was thinking about Tsunade's words. Should he give up being a ninja and live mediocrely, or use half the chance to fight for the life he wants? During the painful struggle, a voice also sounded slowly. Little Lee, now is not the time to have to choose one from the other. Hearing this, Little Lee was also taken aback. Immediately looking at him, he saw Shiyu and Emperor Guy who came to him, and the words just now came from Shiyu's mouth. Shiyu, Mr. Guy, why are you here? Little Lee, I brought Shiyu to see you. As soon as King Guy said these words, Little Lee was immediately stunned. That the former had recruited Tsunade, the strongest medical ninja, but if he didn't know the Emperor Guy, he would definitely feel that the former was making fun of him. Seeing the doubts on Little Lee's face as before, Emperor Guy repeated what Tsunade told him. Although he was in a bad mood, there was still a deep shock on Little Lee's face. No way, this kind of thing is too shocking. Shiyu, is what Teacher Guy said true? Almost. Shiyu responded, and then said, let me get hurt first. At this moment, Little Lee did not refuse. Although he didn't hold out much hope, it doesn't matter, in case Shiyu really has a better way. Immediately after. Under the nervous expressions of Emperor Guy and Little Lee, Shiyu also began to diagnose the situation for Little Lee. After a while, seeing Shiyu standing up straight, Emperor Guy immediately asked, Shiyu, how's it going? As Grandma Tsunade said, the fragments of bone have touched the nervous system, and even the success rate of the operation is not very high. Hearing Shiyu's words, the mood of Emperor Guy and Little Lee fell to the bottom again, and Emperor Guy still asked a symbolic question. Not very high is how much? %. As soon as Shiyu's answer came out, Xiaoli and Emperor Guy were stunned for a moment. Isn't this so kidding? The 9% chance of you even I said it's not very high, then what is your so-called high? Shocked, but Emperor Guy hurriedly asked. Shiyu, are you kidding me? At this moment, not only King Guy had such doubts, but also Little Lee, because Tsunade said earlier that the best situation is only 50%. But now that Shiyu is here, it's as high as 90%. Can this not surprise them? If Tsunade hadn't patted his chest, they would definitely think Shiyu was talking nonsense. Mr. Guy, how can I joke like this? In my eyes, only a 100% chance is called high. Hearing Shiyu's words, Emperor Guy and Little Lee looked at each other, expressing their complete agreement with Shiyu in their hearts. Shiyu, are you telling the truth? Little Lee said excitedly. Of course. Shiyu responded with a sound, and immediately said, if I can implant primary cells during the operation, I can increase the success rate of the operation to 99%. Moreover, it will allow you to return to your previous state faster after surgery. That's right, in fact, this is Tokiyu's real purpose. If he went directly to Tsunade to get the first-generation cell, the latter would definitely ask her what she took it for. And in the name of Little Lee's surgery, everything will be a matter of course. As for the so-called 99% power, it's true, Shiyu just didn't have enough to say. In fact, with the primary sage body, he can completely restore Xiaoli to the original without surgery, and he can completely remove the bone fragments in the nerve center, in Xiaoli's body. It is transformed into natural energy and extracted to be. When Shiyu mentioned the 99% success rate, Emperor Guy and Little Lee were speechless in astonishment. After being stunned for a while, Emperor Guy broke the silence. Quote. Shiyu, what you said is true. Mr. Guy, what good is it for me to lie to you? Well, that's what I said. With Emperor Guy's murmur, the eyes he and Little Lee looked at each other were full of excitement. With a 9% chance, it's almost an absolute certainty. They never imagined that Shiyu would be able to do things that even the strongest medical ninja, Tsunade, couldn't do. After some shock, Emperor Guy suddenly thought of something. Shiyu, I heard that no one has successfully transplanted primary cells. Emperor Guy is an elite Jonin, and naturally he knows this. And when Little Lee heard this, most of the excited look on his face disappeared, and his eyes turned to Shiyu again, waiting for the latter's answer. Mr. Guy, I just said if. That is to say, I have to study it first. If the study is successful, then with the ability of primary cells, even those who have broken arms and legs can be reborn. Shiyu, how sure are you? Guy asked. Everything is unknown without research. Shiyu said. That's right. King Guy responded and immediately said, however, I believe that you will be able to study successfully. Guy's words are not groundless, but have some basis. Learned all of Tsunade's medical skills and ninjutsu in just 5 days, but now the success rate given after diagnosis is much higher than Tsunade's. Little Lee seemed to have the same thoughts as him, cheering for Shiyu. Shiyu, I also believe in you. Hearing this, Shiyu smiled slightly and said immediately. Little Lee, take a good rest first. I'll go and ask Nanny Tsunade for instructions on the study of primary cells. Seeing Little Lee nodding, Shiyu also said goodbye to the two of them. Then Mr. Guy, I'll go first. Good. Guy nodded, and Shiyu disappeared from their field of vision under the watchful eyes of the two. Little Lee, that's great. Yes, Mr. Guy. The two people in the conversation are directly hugging each other, kind of, hugging each other and crying, and rushing to the feet with joy. And Tokyo didn't procrastinate. After leaving Konoha Hospital, he went to Tsunade. Chapter 131 3 Women in One Play. Way to find Tsunade, he met two people. Two teenage girls. It's Sakura and Ino, they seem to be going to hospital to see Sasuke and Little Lee. And at the moment when they saw Shiyu, for some reason, the two of them stopped at the same time. Hi, Shiyu. The first Shiyu to say hello was Ino. After passing the Chunin exam, the former's status in his heart has risen to a certain height. It is also for this reason that she has rarely competed with Sakura for jealousy recently. Sakura also summoned up her courage when she saw this. Shiyu, long time no see. This result made Shiyu quite surprised. Ino was still within the acceptable range. After all, she helped the latter during the Chunin exam. But Sakura didn't. Also, this seems to be the first time I've taken the initiative to say hello to her. Isn't it just to raise a bar with Ino? Obviously not. Shiyu had already guessed one or two, but he didn't point it out. Because when the latter feeling gradually deepens, she will reveal herself, so Shiyu has absolutely no need to do anything deliberately. That's not his style. He doesn't have it either. Ino, Sakura, are you going to see Sasuke? Hearing Shiyu's words, Ino smiled slightly, then said, there's Little Lee. The two of them were injured so badly, as classmates, it's natural to see them. Ino's sentence is very meaningful, especially the 4 words, as a classmate. This undoubtedly tells Shiyu that she has no other intentions to see the two of them. Hearing this, Sakura hurriedly said. Me too. Very good. Shiyu responded, and then said, I just finished watching the two of them, and Sasuke has already woken up. As for Little Lee, I think his injury will recover soon too. It seems that the rumor is true. The new Hokage is the famous medical expert Tsunade-sama. Ino rode. I still have something to do, so I'll go first. The voice fell, and Shiyu strode away. The two women looked at Shiyu's back with different expressions on their faces, not knowing what they were thinking. Until Tokiyu's figure completely disappeared from their field of vision, Ino seemed to have made a decision in his heart. Sakura, I've decided. What did you decide? Sakura looked puzzled between the words. In order to repair our relationship, I decided to quit. The two of them were originally best friends without guessing, but because they were attracted by Sasuke at the same time, they gradually became estranged. After the first battle of the Chunin exam qualifier, the relationship between the two gradually improved. Exit. Exit what? Are you really stupid or pretend to be stupid? Ino, who was in the middle of the conversation, gave Sakura a sullen look, and continued, it means that Sasuke gave it to you. Give it to me. Sakura murmured, and finally understood. Why did I ask you to let it go? I can take it by myself, I don't need your sympathy. Let me tell you so. Ino responded with a sound, and then said, it's better that I give up instead of letting it go. Why? Because I think someone is better and better than him. Ino's voice fell, and before Sakura could answer, a voice came from behind them. What are you talking about? Hearing this, both Sakura and Ino were taken aback. Immediately, a beautiful shadow is also reflected in the two people's eyes. It's none other than Tenten. Needless to say, she was definitely going to see little Lee. It's nothing. Ino hurriedly explained, and then said, Tenten, you are going to see little Lee. Exactly, I want to see him too, let's go together. Good. Although Tenten didn't know what was going on, they naturally wouldn't reject Ino's kindness. So Ino happily dragged Tenten towards Konoha Hospital, leaving only Sakura with a confused face. However, Ino never imagined that the person she was pulling actually had a crush on Shiyu. Sakura was still thinking about what Ino said just now as she looked at the two who were leaving. Better than Sasuke did. Speaking, Sakura glanced at the direction in which Tokiha disappeared, and finally understood something. He froze in place for a while, and muttered to himself. Sasuke never responds to my feelings and doesn't look at me, should I insist? Words fell, she also kept up with the pace of Ino and Tenten. At that time, Yu had already arrived at the Hokage building. At the moment Tsunade is discussing with the core Konoha figures such as open black lens bracket Homura Mitokado close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Kaharu Udatane close black lens bracket about taking over the ceremony. Tsunade couldn't be bothered with such a boring thing. So she directly handed it over to Shizune to discuss it with them, and then she only needs to come forward. And she walked up to Shiyu with a look of relief and asked with a smile. Shiyu, what do you have to do with me? Grandma Tsunade, you pushed the matter to me and asked me something. Words. Tsunade was also instantly stunned. He asked directly, how is it, how confident are you of little Lee's injury? Less than 10%. Tsunade was stunned for a moment, then rolled his eyes at Shiyu, and said, you little brat, be serious. Hey, I'm seeing Grandma Tsunade. You may not be able to adapt to the job of Hokage all of a sudden, so ease the atmosphere. Okay, I'm not kidding you anymore. When the words fell, Shiyu's expression became serious, and he continued, little Lee's injury is indeed serious, but I am about 80% sure. So high. Tsunade was instantly stunned between the words. Originally she just thought that Shiyu's talent might give her a little more confidence. But what she didn't expect was that 3 layers were directly added. Before her shock was over, Shiyu said again, Grandma Tsunade, if the primary cell can be successfully researched, I will be 90% to 9%. Grasp. Primary cell. Tsunade stunned, then said, indeed, with your talent, you can really give it a try. If it works, it will be a great feat. As Konoha's best medical ninja, Tsunade naturally knows about first-generation cell culture and transplantation. but because the transplant never succeeded, and all the test specimens died. Reason: this research is banned. However, although research is banned, primary cells are still preserved in the experiment. After some consideration, Tsunade said to Tokyu, "Tomorrow, we will receive the daimyo from various countries and meet the leaders of other villages. The day after tomorrow will be the official succession ceremony. Well, come back to me in 2 days." Nodded and made an agreement with Tsunade. And in these 2 days, he can just teach Sasuke how to control the cursed seal of heaven. Please download Feifei. Chapter 132 Inches Cursed Ceiling, Cultivation. The next day, Shiyu told Emperor Guy and Little Lee about the situation, and they had no opinion on it. They have been doing it for so long, and it is not less than 1 or 2 days. After all, it is a research that can improve the success rate, and even if it is a long time, they are still willing to wait. Life-threatening matters, of course, have to be cautious. After leaving Little Lee's ward, Tokyu went directly to Sasuke. And the latter has long been impatient. Everything is ready. If Shiyu didn't come to him, he would have to go to Shiyu. "Now that you're ready, let me go with me." Hearing Tokyu's words, Sasuke nodded heavily. After being tortured by Itachi, he deeply felt his weakness, which made his rapidly growing heart intensify again. After a while, after leaving Konoha Hospital, Tokyu took Sasuke to a relatively secluded grove. "No way. It's better not to let too many people know about this cursed seal of heaven. After all, it's something that Orochimaru left behind. You already know the first form of cursed sealing, but you haven't completely mastered it because you resisted this kind of power. So, what you have to do now is to release this form completely." Hearing Tokyu's words, Sasuke didn't talk nonsense either. The evil seal on his cursed seal was broken when he fought against Gaara last time, and now he can freely curse seal as long as he wants. Next second, one after another black runes also flowed out from the cursed seal of heaven on Sasuke's neck, and then they covered the whole body without any suspense. But it did not completely cover the body, leaving a little gap between each rune. This is the first form of the heaven's cursed seal. Seeing this, Shiyu also said, "Okay, let's practice with me now." "With you?" "Yes." Shiyu nodded, then said, "Battle is the fastest way to master the power." "I see." Voice fell. Sasuke didn't talk nonsense, and attacked Tokyu directly. Sasuke originally thought that he should be able to have a few moves with Tokyu after Curse Seal transformation, but the result was far beyond his expectations. In this state, he is still unable to make a move in Shiyu's hands. After learning the 100 Heroes technique with Tsunade, Shiyu learned a method, which is to precisely control the chakra to a certain part of the body, make it burst out with great power. This move is combined with the increase of open black lens bracket, the 8 inner gates close black lens bracket. It is simply pervert. But for Kamisasuke, Tokyu did not use these powers at all, because it is completely unnecessary. Otherwise, as long as you get a punch, you will probably have to go back to the hospital and lie down. Sasuke, turn on Sharingan. If you want to evolve Sharingan, there is only constant battle. Hearing Tokyu's reminder, Sasuke did not have any doubts and did it directly. After half a day, Sasuke has completely stabilized the tier state of the curse of the heavens. But at the same time, the drag at this moment has already exhausted and collapsed. Although Sasuke at this time is very wolf. His heart was excited, because he felt that his strength was constantly improving. This result naturally surprised him. After some rest, Shiyu said, "Sasuke, you are fully used to the first form of this curse sealing, so let's start the next stage of training." Next stage. Nice. Shiyu responded and immediately said, "This curse seal has 2 forms, and your current master is only the first form. So, next I'm going to teach you to control the second form." Sasuke, who heard the words, sucked in a breath of cold air. he never imagined that this cursed seal actually had a stronger form. He was also very excited about this. Sasuke, I will give all the power to unlock the cursed seal next, but the process is very painful. No matter how much pain, I can endure it. To Sasuke's answer, Tokiyu said, have you ever experienced the feeling of death? What do you mean? I told you the truth. After the power of the cursed seal is fully released, this power will instantly devour your life. Simply put, you will die. Hearing Shiyu's words, Sasuke was stunned for a moment, and there was a flash of panic and doubt in his eyes. Shiyu, since you brought it up, there should be a solution. Of course. Shiyu nodded, and then said, however, you have to endure that feeling of death, because later you will be constantly hovering on the edge of life and death. As long as I can gain strength, I can bear any pain. In that case, let's get started. Good. Seeing Sasuke nodding, Tokiyu stopped talking nonsense. I saw a natural energy condensed in his hand, and then instilled it towards the curse of heaven on Sasuke's neck. In the second that this natural energy penetrated into the cursed seal, the latter seemed to be summoned by something, and instantly awakened. The terrifying runes spread out again directly, covering Sasuke's whole body in just a few breaths. Not only that, but even Sasuke's appearance has changed. The hair has grown longer, and the wings of the palm is born on his back. There is no doubt that the current Sasuke has successfully awakened the second form of the curse of the sky. However, the total power it was accompanied by pain. At this time, Sasuke had already felt the pain of death, and although he clenched Kiba tightly and endured it, he still let out a shallow moan. He was able to hold on, naturally, because Shiyu absorbed the excess, natural energy in his body to protect his life from being eroded away. After a while, after seeing Sasuke's condition stabilized, Tokiyu also stopped absorbing the natural energy in his body. Ordinary people will die once they absorb too much natural energy. That's why not many people can withstand cursed seal power. In the test of Orochimaru, even Otogaku 4 people or only 4 people. Ordinary open black lens bracket cursed seal close black lens bracket. And the power contained in this cursed seal of heaven is even more terrifying. But if you want the power of a master, you must stay in this state for a period of time to allow your body to slowly adapt to this natural energy. After all this last night, Shiyu also said, Sasuke, you should get used to this state in the afternoon. After you get used to it, I will practice with you tomorrow to make you a better master. Sasuke nodded without hesitation. He had begun to trust Tokiha unconditionally. Feeling the power that this state gave him amplifying, his admiration for Shiyu deepened a lot. The next day, Sasuke also adapted to this second form of the curse of heaven under the guidance of Tokiyu. But what makes Sasuke depressed is that he is still no match for Tokiyu in this state. However, what makes him happy is that he can at least have a few tricks with him. This is enough to prove that his strength has improved by leaps and bounds, which is undoubtedly the best news for Sasuke. Day 3. And Tsunade agreed on the day. At this time, the latter has successfully completed the succession ceremony and officially became Konoha's 5th Hokage. When you came to the Hokage office, the latter was looking at a pile of documents in a daze. Grandma Tsunade, here I come. The sound of this voice made Tsunade's pretty face show a wisp of a smile. Chapter 133 Teenager who made a splash in Konoha. In the office, Tsunade and Shizune had a chat. Tsunade took him to Konoha's research laboratory. Today's Tsunade, as the 5 generations Hokage, is naturally unimpeded along the way, without any accidents. After bringing Shiyu to the research laboratory, Tsunade also briefly introduced the general situation to Shiyu. As Konoha used to be an excellent medical ninja, she is no stranger to this place. Because Shiyu's research is not to put primary cells into human body to cultivate Mokuton, wood-style ninja with blood stain limit, but Shiyu's research purpose is the regeneration power of primary cells. Therefore, no one will object to this research. In fact, this research Konoha has been studied a long time ago, but there is not much progress at all. Coupled with Tsunade's departure, no one has the strength to continue research. It would have taken some time to complete this research. But the problem is that he's already elementary sage body now, so this part is faster. After Tsunade's introduction, Shiyu immediately started researching. With his current talent, this research is not difficult for him at all. In just a few days, he was puzzled by Konoha medical class. For decades the research project was solved. This result has undoubtedly caused a sensation in the whole Konoha. Since that day, Tokiyu has undoubtedly become the talking point of the Konoha villagers before and after dinner. Why Toshiyu becomes the most popular object of the new generation. Especially the kid Konoha Maru. Tenten calls himself Tokiyu's younger brother, and it's a lot of fun. Relatively speaking, Shikamaru's promotion to Chunin fell to the lower level. Because of the advent of this research, the problem of some disabled people is solved, mainly in those who lack arms and legs. At the moment when the research was successful, Tsunade gave Shiyu an unexpected hug. This was undoubtedly something that Shiyu didn't expect. Tsunade's hug Shiyu was acceptable, but the middle-aged uncle, Emperor Guy, Shiyu was somewhat unacceptable. Obviously, the latter is because of excitement. Because of this, Little Lee's surgery can be said to be almost without any risk. And Shiyu's own goal has also been achieved, and the primary cell will be turned into a part of himself with sage body. In this way, he can create the chakra of open black lens bracket Asura close black lens bracket, so that he can use open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket with impunity. On the second day after the completion of the research, Shiyu also performed surgery on Shaoli. Without any accident, Shaoli successfully recovered his health. After all these things, the fungus also entered a high-speed recovery period, that is, a tense working state. Because of Orochimaru's troubles and the death of 3 Hokage, they Konoha have piled up a lot of tasks. Elite Jonins like Kakashi, Emperor Guy and the others all need to perform difficult tasks, and some simple tasks are done by genin. Because of this, Shiyu and the others have an independent mission. The content of the mission is to go to the Tea country to protect a contestant, and Shiyu is still a little interested in this mission. Because he really wanted to see the weapon of open black lens bracket second Hokage close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket thunder sword close black lens bracket. This sword was stolen by missing Nin open black lens bracket close black lens bracket using open black lens bracket Morino Itoden close black lens bracket 3 years ago, and it is still in the hands of the latter. What about? If there is no accident, this time the mission will be with the person in the system's first mission anyway, and Shiyu is not in a hurry, so he should go on a tour. System Quest. Kill open black lens bracket Kimimaro close black lens bracket. System Quest. Destroy Orochimaru open black lens bracket sound hidden village lair close black lens bracket, and kill Fu Molan. Exclamation mark. The first task, Shiyu has to wait until Sasuke's affairs are arranged before completing it, because it is related to the open black lens bracket contract scroll close black lens bracket of open black lens bracket Raichi cave close black lens bracket. After Tsunade's explanation, Tokiyu, Naruto and Sasuke 3 also embarked on the journey of Tea country. This is the first time Shiyu and the others, 7th class, have performed a mission alone. Without Kakashi in charge, the captain is naturally Shiyu. Sasuke and Naruto have no objection to this. Today, the two of them have completely become Tokiyu's younger brothers. In their opinion, as long as they follow Tokiyu, they can continue to become stronger. 2 days later, Shiyu and the others finally arrived in the Tea country, and they left the hotel where they slept for more than half a day, and they finally saw a tea house on the way. Time Feather. There is a tea house in front, let's take a break. All right. Seeing Shiyu nodding, Naruto's figure instantly disappeared in place, and hurriedly ran towards the tea house in front of him. After arriving at the tea house, Naruto, a foodie, ordered a lot of things in an instant, such as Enko rice cake soup, 60 balls jelly, etc. At this time, in addition to the three of them in this hotel, there were also a boy who looks a little older than them. Naruto and the others don't know the identity of the latter, but Tokyo knows it. This young man is the target they want to protect during their trip, the younger brother of Konoha Jonin, Mori Ibiki, Morino Itoten. At the beginning, this guy was eliminated because of the first round of the Chunin exam, and he was deceived by Lu Chinkui in despair. And, he also became a missing nin. But because of the reason of open black lens bracket Mori Ibiki close black lens bracket, the latter was not wanted, and then fled to this open black lens bracket T country close black lens bracket and became a member of open black lens bracket Wasabi family close black lens bracket. And open black lens bracket Morino Itoten close black lens bracket. After seeing Tokyo and the three of them, he was biting Kiba and gnashing his teeth. Because he was deceived by open black lens bracket green aoi close black lens bracket, he hated the Konoha ninja in his heart. It turned out to be Konoha's ninja. Looking at the three of Shiyu 3, Yichuo Tien muttered in his mouth. Immediately after. The other hand, he left his seat and came to the seat of Shiyu's trio of three, and said with a look of disdain. Life is so easy, ninja is such an easy job. What did you say? Naruto was the first to be upset. I think Konoha village is really peaceful, it looks like it's all over the place. Yichuo, before the last two cursing words were uttered, his body was smashed to the ground heavily. Boom. At 05 o'clock, Yichuo was being stepped on the ground by a big foot, and this person was Shiyu. I didn't mess with you, why did you shoot me? When you move your impure thoughts, the result is already doomed. Hearing Shiyu's words, Yichuo Tien suddenly trembled in his heart, because he felt as if his inner thoughts were completely seen through by Shiyu. But this is only one of his shocks. Second, he himself was once a ninja, and he was a genin like the three of them. He originally thought that he could play with Shiyu and the three of them and then slip away, but what he never expected was that Shiyu would shoot directly. The most terrifying thing is that he doesn't even know how Shiyu made his move. Moreover, he can't move at all now. At this moment, there is only one thought in his heart, as the current Konoha genin, so strong. Please download Feifei. Chapter 134 Inches Horizon, Reappearance. Glancing at the open black lens bracket Itoten close black lens bracket on the ground, Naruto also asked in confusion. Shiyu, how did you know he had impure thoughts? Naruto, as a qualified ninja, you must know how to observe people and things around you at all times. Shiyu instructed Naruto, and then said, as soon as we stepped into this tea house, this kid looked at us with disgust. A person who hates ninjas will take the initiative to talk to us, even with his feet, he knows that his purpose is not pure. It's easy to play tricks on us, and it's hard to trick us. Open black lens bracket Itoten close black lens bracket, who was still a little skeptical about this at first, suddenly realized when he heard Shiyu's words. He really couldn't understand how a genin could have such insight, compared to his older brother, who was good at observing words and emotions. Open black lens bracket Mori Ibiki close black lens bracket is a Konoha torture officer. If you don't have this ability, how can you mess around? So it is. Naruto nodded, then snorted coldly, HMPH, that's too hateful. At this time, open black lens bracket Itoten close black lens bracket was extremely aggrieved. He was very upset when he met Konoha's ninja. He never thought that his motives would be discovered. Moreover, he is still being trampled under his feet at the moment. What is even more disgusting is that he was called a teen kid by Shiyu who was younger than him. I tell you, you'd better let me go. Otherwise, Lord Nagujiro will not let you go. Jiro-chan, why does it sound so familiar? Naruto muttered. You idiot. Sasuke shattered lightly, and then said, Jiro-chan is the one who entrusted us with this mission. No wonder I think I've heard it there. On the ground, open black lens bracket Ataden close black lens bracket was dumbfounded after hearing the conversation between Naruto and Sasuke, because he was the contestant this time. In other words, the three guys in front of him are here to protect him. This result was completely beyond his expectations. He didn't expect that things would be so coincidental, and the one who protected himself would be Konoha's ninja. Just when Yichuo Tien was still there, when he was shocked, Shiyu's voice also sounded slowly. What a coincidence. Then it's good, you can take us to find Jiro-chan. Why should I take you there? Yi Tuoshin said angrily. You will bring it. When Shiyu's voice fell, the old woman in the tea house also brought out what Naruto had just ordered. Seeing the scene in front of him, he was also slightly taken aback. Seeing the old woman froze in place, Shiyu also said, Mother-in-law, this person wants to eat the overlord meal, but we just caught him. When Shiyu said these words, Yi Tuoshin was stunned again. Because he just wanted to eat free food just now, and then asked Shiyu and the three to pay the bill for him, the purpose was to play tricks on them. But what he didn't expect was that his purpose was not only seen through, but now his real intention was exposed. Is this a coincidence? Although he really didn't want to believe it, the truth was in front of him. Hearing what Shiyu said, without seeing Yi Tuoshin's rebuttal, the old woman also believed Shiyu's words and quickly thanked him. Thank you so much. You're welcome, hee. Naruto laughed. Little devil, hurry up and hand over your account. Words fell, Shiyu's feet also moved away from Yi Tuoshin's body, but he left something on his body. After seeing that his conspiracy was exposed, Yi Tuo-tien only paid the bill. Can't beat Shiyu 3. And if he hadn't run into Shiyu 3, he wouldn't have the idea of free food. Hey, what's your name? Shiyu asked. Senmilk Yi Tuoshin. I Tuoshin, right, you just wait here, and we'll be on our way after we finish eating. You. At this moment, Yi Tuoshin was very angry. But did not dare to get angry. Because of Shiyu's power, he has already experienced it, and he will definitely not be able to beat him. Since he can't fight, he can only run. After he left Konoha, he didn't practice any ninjutsu anymore, but specialized in running. Because the Jiro-chan family who took him in has to participate in a Masuri worship ceremony of the Hong-Taisha shrine, every year. And this ceremony is, to put it bluntly, a race. In order to be able to help open black lens bracket Jiro-chan close black lens bracket, he has practiced hard for the past few years, and this time he finally has the opportunity to repay the latter. Sure enough. When he took advantage of Shiyu and the others to eat, he ran away without a trace. Seeing this, Naruto was the first to shout, Shiyu, that guy ran away. Never mind him, we'll eat ours. Hearing Shiyu's words, Sasuke and Naruto were also stunned, although they didn't know what medicine Shiyu was selling in this gourd. But as long as Shiyu said, they chose to obey. 5 minutes later, Sasuke, who came back after paying the bill, said, Shiyu, I asked the old lady just now. She said that there is still a long way to go from here to the village where the Wasabi family is located. Should we hurry up? Don't worry, we are taking a break, someone will give you a position. Location. Naruto and Sasuke murmured at the same time, obviously not knowing the meaning of Tokiyu's words. At the same time, that Yi Tuoshin, who was some distance away from the tea house, looked back and said disdainfully, what about the ninjas, can you catch up to me? Voice fell, Itoden didn't hesitate, and ran towards the house of Jiro-chan quickly. After a while, Itautien finally arrived at Jiro-chan's house, and went directly to meet Jiro-chan. Meeting room. When Itoden saw Jiro-chan, he immediately knelt down. Boss. You're back. Jiro-chan responded with a sound, and then said, Ito-ocean, this competition is entirely up to you. Boss, don't worry. I will do my best to win this victory. Jiro-chan nodded with satisfaction and muttered, I don't know when the ninjas of Konoha will arrive. Just as Jiro-chan's voice fell, and before Itoden had time to explain the 200 incidents that he had just met with Toshiyu and the three of them, three figures suddenly appeared in their eyes. These three figures are none other than Tokyo 3. This scene undoubtedly shocked both Jiro and Chong, especially Itaden. He just came back all the way, and he used the strength of feeding, and the speed was as fast as ultimate. Logically, even if Shiyu and the others caught up, they wouldn't be able to appear here so quickly. Even if they were as fast as themselves, they would have to take the time to find Jiro-chan's home. But the problem is, Shiyu is just out of thin air. Appeared. Undoubtedly, it was the reason why Tokyo used the Hiraishin technique. When Tokyo let go of Itaden, he left the Hiraishin mark on him. Why are you here? Hearing Itaden's words, Chief Jiro also came back to his senses. His eyes fell on Tokyo and Naruto, and he asked, Did I see you there? Jiro-chan, uncle, we met. Unimura, when I was with Grandma Tsunade. Shiyu Road. Konoha from Wuyuan Town, Dance Street. Shiyu and the others had a relationship with the latter when they passed through Tang Village. That's because Tsunade made friends who gambled around, or more accurately, gamblers. It's you. Jiro-chan was also a little surprised in the words. He did not expect that the Konoha ninja who came here would be Tokiha and Naruto. As for Sasuke, he doesn't know him yet. Feilu reminds you. 3 things to study. Chapter 135 One Punch shocked everyone. After Tokiha and Naruto had a chat, open black lens bracket Jiro Wasabi close black lens bracket immediately looked at open black lens bracket Morino Itoden close black lens bracket. Italian. Listening to your tone just now, you seem to know them. Jiro-chan's voice fell, and before Itoshin could speak, Shiyu was the first to say, Uncle Jiro-chan, we had a relationship at a tea house on the road before. If he hadn't led the way, we wouldn't have gotten here so quickly. So it is. Jiro nodded, and then said, Itoshin, you didn't tell me in advance just now. Itautien wanted to say something, but was interrupted by Shiyu. It's okay, Uncle Jiro. It is estimated that Itoshin was so happy that he forgot about it. You should tell us the specific requirements of this mission. All right. Seeing Tokyo and Jiro chatting and laughing, Itaden was embarrassed to mention the shameful thing just now. Immediately after, Jiro-chan also explained the main content of their mission this time to Tokiwa and the three of them. First of all, he told a legend. A long time ago, in order to calm down the storm, people enshrined Dragon Tiger Treasure Jade in Hongtaisha. Soon the storm subsided, so the incident became a legend and passed on, and it has now evolved into a routine event every 4 years. In the beginning, it was just Matsuri worshipping the treasure jade. From a few decades ago, it became the most powerful person to become the master Matsuri and perform Matsuri sacrifice. Now, Yuyan has become another role. In this port town called Jigang, there have been 2 groups of knights, the Wasabi family and the Mustard family, since ancient times. The disputes between the 2 of us have never been interrupted. Conflict over the dominance of the town. When the confrontation is fierce, even the residents will be affected, even injured, and even sacrificed. In order to put an end to this intensifying confrontation, under the mediation of the daimyo of the Kingdom of Tea, a solution was proposed to decide who can dominate the town. Hearing this, Tokyo said, Uncle Jiro, the solution should be the Matsuri worship ceremony held every 4 years at the Hongtaisha. Interaction of Matsuri worship at Hongtaisha Shrine, ceremony even if it refers to Matsuri worship at Momoto Luki Shrine. Well, you're right. Jiro took a little longer and continued, because the opponent hired ninjas in the previous session and won an overwhelming victory, so this time they will probably repeat the same tricks as 4 years ago. So we decided to entrust the village of Konoha to take countermeasures. Please help us. Voice fell, and Chief Jiro also bowed to the 3 of them. Uncle Jiro. Don't worry, this matter is covered by us. For this open black lens bracket Wasabi Jiro-chan closed black lens bracket, Tokiyu has a good impression of him. The last time Unimura met by chance, the latter invited them to soak in Izumi. Moreover, this task is not difficult at all, it is regarded as a bathing feeling for him to return the latter. Let's do it. So, the voice of Sasuke, who are we going to protect, fell, and before Chief Jiro could answer, Tokiyu said, if I guess correctly, it should be Ataden who brought us here. Ah. How did you know? Shenyi Tuoshin finally spoke again. I think your speed is far beyond ordinary people, and you are a person, and this Matsuri priest is a game where speed determines the outcome. If nothing else happens, Uncle Jiro will definitely send you to fight. Quote. Hearing what Tokiyu said, both Jiro-chan and Ataden were stunned. They didn't expect Shiyu to come to this answer based on this information alone, and they had to admit that Shiyu was smart. Since you've already guessed it, so. Ituoshin, please take them to visit the town these 2 days. Jiro-chan smiled. His meaning is very simple, since Shiyu and the others are here to protect Ituoshin, let them be more familiar. Ituoshin said reluctantly, but he couldn't find any reason, so he could only follow Jiro-chan's wishes. The next day, Ataden followed Jiro-chan's wishes and went out with the three of Tokiha. Although Shiyu's cleverness made him look different yesterday, he was still haunted by the previous incident. Because of this, he basically didn't talk much along the way. And when they came to a noodle restaurant, Naruto couldn't help but want to taste the ramen here. Tokiyu didn't say no to this either. Since leaving Konoha, they haven't eaten ramen for a long time. However, just after they dared to order the noodles, the boss was thrown out by the three big men in the store. Please forgive me. For the boss's begging, the three big men did not take it to heart at all. I'm going, I thought you were doing business here because of someone's blessing. That's right, actually just resisted as the Mustard family. How dare I do this? The boss in the conversation looked terrified, but he still mustered up his courage and said, it's just that you have to give money. No way, his whole family depended on this small noodle restaurant for their livelihood. If the Tenten of Hejiazi family came to eat free food, then his noodle shop would be closed down if he was late. Hee, I think you still don't understand the situation. The gray-clothed man at the head sneered. Immediately after, he was gearing up again, obviously he was about to start again. Seeing this, the noodle restaurant owner hurriedly knelt down and begged for mercy, please raise your hand and let me go. Begging for mercy now, it's too late. The gray-clothed catastrophe that fell from the voice was about to start, but at this moment, he felt as if his body had been hit hard. Touch! With a muffled sound, the gray-clothed man, who was still arrogant, smashed directly on the wall of the street. Boom! At this time, his entire body was directly embedded in the wall, foaming at the mouth, looking like a dizzy bastard. This sudden scene undoubtedly stunned everyone. Especially the younger brother of the big man in gray. The eyes of the two of them fell on a figure from the wall at this time. This figure is not someone else, so good Zhao is Shiyu. At this moment, Shiyu glanced at the gray-clothed man embedded in the wall, and spit out a word. It even bothered the young master to eat noodles. Voice fell, and Shiyu said to the restaurant owner on the ground, "Boss, hurry up and cook the noodles, I'm hungry." The people who heard the words were completely stunned. They didn't expect that Shiyu would punish the people of the Hejiazi family just to eat a bowl of noodles. When Yi Tuoshin saw this, he couldn't help but shudder. At this moment, he finally knew that Shiyu must be showing mercy to him in the old woman's tea house. Otherwise, there is no way he could be standing here now. The way he looked at Shiyu changed again. At this time, there was both happiness and fear in his eyes. His performance was undoubtedly a recognition of Shiyu's strength. Be precise, envy, because he once wanted to become a powerful ninja, but unfortunately his dream was shattered. Please download Feifei. Chapter 136 The Choice Between Life and Death. After everyone was shocked, the villagers and shopkeepers next to them all applauded. Obviously, they were bullied a lot on weekdays. Then, Shiyu asked them to pay off the debts they owed in one lump sum before letting them get out of the way with the fainting gray-clothed man on his back. Looking at the three of the Wa Mustard family, who quickly disappeared from sight, the noodle restaurant owner thanked Shiyu. "Little brother, thank you. Boss, can you cook noodles now?" "Yes, yes." Noodle restaurant owner responded quickly, and then said, "You can eat as much as you want, the free kind." "Really?" the ringer exclaimed in surprise. Seeing the noodle shop owner nodding, Naruto said unceremoniously, "I want this, this and that." Because of this, Shiyu and a few people ate a free meal in front of them. But the boss was a little scared, because Naruto, the big stomach king, eats something that is not as simple as a few people. It's for more than 10 people. However, compared to Shiyu helping him to express his anger just now, and asking for the money back in the past, it is a drop in the bucket. After this little episode, 3 of Tokiha, who had eaten and drank enough, continued to visit the town under the leadership of Itoten. Although Tokiyu taught the people of open black lens bracket Kadozi's family close black lens bracket, but because of the relationship of open black lens bracket Wabi's family 437 close black lens bracket, the former didn't seem to immediately ask for trouble. If Shiyu didn't expect it, in the course of the game, the Kanako family should let their hired ninjas do it. You can win the game and get rid of the hatred in your heart. This move can be said to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Time flies, 2 days are fleeting. Day 3. Finally ushered in the so-called Masuri worship event of Hong Taisha, which is a very representative game. Because he decided the dominance of the town of Jigang. At this time, the square of starting point was already crowded with people, almost all the residents of the town gathered. Obviously, they are very concerned about this. The approximate process of this game is, depart from the port of the small town, Akko Port, take a boat to the middle stronghold, Mutariji Shrine, and get one of the items placed there. Dragon Tiger Jade. Dragon and Tiger Jade divided into 2, Dragon Jade, and Tiger Jade 2. Then go to the Hungtai Shrine of Dao Island, and the dragon will be taken from the Moto Lumu Shrine. Tiger Treasure Jade can be worshipped on it. First to arrive is the final winner. Of course, these are just the rules. Players can take shortcuts, hire people to stop their opponents, and even set traps and so on to make their own wins. Tokiha, I don't know what kind of ninja the other party hired. Naruto's voice fell, but Sasuke was the first to speak. Now you're definitely not going to see it, because they must be hiding in the corner and watching the situation. Sasuke is right. Shiyu responded with a sound, and then said, the ninja dispatched by the other side is not too strong for a mission like this, so this time is just the time to test the achievements of both of you. Hearing the words, Naruto and Sasuke nodded, and they were already eager to try. Not long after Shiyu's words fell, the host's voice rose. Everyone, the Boom Taisha competition is about to begin. Now I'll announce the 2 runners of both sides. First is the runner of the Wasabi family, Morino Itaden, and then the runner of the Kazuko family, Hikadoya Fukusuke. Now, take your place. Host's words, Idatien and Yafukusuke also took the starting position. Start. As these 2 words were spit out from the host's mouth, the 2 of them flew out in unison. The speed is beyond imagination. This speed is much faster than the average genin. It can be seen that the 2 of them were selected for no reason. However, what surprised everyone was that Yi Tuoshin did not follow the prescribed route, he directly abandoned the boat prepared by the organizer. As Yafukusuke, his opponent, also muttered, "What does that guy want to do?" Immediately afterwards, he also stopped talking nonsense and left directly by boat. At the same time, Itaoshin was heading towards the downstream fishing village along the port, and he seemed to have already made a decision in his heart. Nothing else, he thought of a shortcut or a faster way. Shiyu, what is it doing with that guy? You'll know that later. Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto stopped asking questions, and followed closely behind Itoshin. After a while. At that time, after the three of Yu and Itoshin arrived in a forest, Shiyu stopped. Seeing Shiyu parked on a big tree and looking at Itoshin who was about to disappear from sight, Naruto couldn't help asking. Shiyu, why did you stop? Don't worry, he'll be back later. Hearing Toshiyu's words, Naruto was puzzled, and Sasuke seemed to have a plan, so he turned on Sharingan, and sure enough, everything was exactly as he thought. There is a demonic illusion barrier ahead. Hearing Sasuke's words, Naruto also muttered, how come I don't know about demonic illusion? You idiot, how can the demonic illusion deliberately set up by others be so easy to be discovered, and you can feel for yourself whether there is a faint flow of chakra around you? Naruto was stunned for a moment, then followed suit. However, after some perception, he couldn't see anything unusual, which shows that Naruto has no talent in demonic illusion's attainments. Why can't I feel it? Just when Naruto was depressed, Idaten, who had previously disappeared into the forest and disappeared in the sight of Tokiha and the three of them, reappeared. Seeing this scene will undoubtedly prove Tokiyu's statement. There is really a demonic illusion barrier. Naruto also exclaimed, and then said, Shiyu, let's go help him quickly. Not yet. Why? Because he has noticed. Tokiyu's words made Sasuke and Naruto puzzled again. How could an ordinary person perceive demonic illusion? At most he just felt that he had lost his way. Seeing the doubts on the faces of the two, Shiyu also said. Because he's also a ninja. Shiyu's voice fell, and before Naruto could continue to ask, Shiyu said, follow up quickly, demonic illusion has changed. When the three of them also came behind Itoshin, Naruto also hurriedly said. Yichuoshin, demonic illusion enchantment here, you follow us. I know. The voice fell, Yitoshin directly put on a stamp, and after the chakra flowed, there was also a low drink from his mouth. Solution. Immediately after. Yitoshin's gaze was locked in one direction, a smug smile appeared on his face, and then suddenly rushed out under the gazes of Shiyu and the others. However, just when he thought he could overcome demonic illusion and found a way out, he didn't realize that his way out was a cliff. Not long after Yitoshin rushed out, he found that his feet were empty and he had lost his strength. But just when he was about to fall down, he was firmly held up by a big hand. The owner of this big hand is none other than Shiyu. Shiyu was able to rescue him in time, obviously because the latter has the Hiraishin mark on his body. One sentence, either I let go or listen to my command. You choose. For Yitoshin, this is undoubtedly a choice between life and death. Shiyu's idea is very simple, if he doesn't obey, he will fend for himself. As for helping open black lens bracket Jiro Wasabi close black lens bracket to win the competition, he can solve it with a open black lens bracket transformation technique close black lens bracket. The reason why he gave Yitoshin this chance was that Shiyu didn't want to let his mission fail in any way. Because, there is no failure in his dictionary. Chapter 137 Enemy road is narrow. One sentence, either I let go, or I follow my command. You choose. Hearing this, Yitoshin looked at Shiyu, his heart throbbing involuntarily. Because he knew that if it wasn't for Shiyu's shot just now, he would probably have fallen into the abyss and shattered into pieces. He didn't dare to go back to Konoha because he was afraid of being punished by Konoha. A person who is afraid of being punished, let alone death. Under Shiyu's strong aura, he chose to be obedient. Naruto and the others also arrived after Yugi put down Itoshin. Yitoshin glanced at the three of them, and asked with some fear, I was able to break the demonic illusion barrier just now, so why am I still getting hit? It's very simple, because the other party has set up a double illusion. So it is. Hearing Shiyu's words, Yitoshin finally came to a realization. After some near misses, Naruto also raised a doubt in his heart. Shiyu, how did you know that Itaoten used to be a ninja? Hearing Naruto's words, Yi Tuoshin was also stunned, and looked at Shiyu with a look of astonishment. Because he didn't mention his past at all, and even the Wabijiro who took him in didn't know about it. Hearing this, Shiyu glanced at Yi Tuoshin and said immediately, "His name is Morino Itoten. Don't you think his name is very similar to a special Jonin in Konoha?" Special Jonin Morino. Sasuke murmured, and was the first to think of a person. "Shiyu, you're talking about the first exam of the Chunin exam, Mori Ibiki." "Itaten, Ibiki, what is their relationship?" Naruto wrote. "If nothing else, it should be a brotherhood." Shiyu replied, and then said, "Because according to my information, Ibiki teacher has a younger brother, but he disappeared 3 years ago." Hearing this, Yi Tuoshin finally couldn't bear it any longer. Because he got an amazing news from the conversation of Shiyu and others, that is, Mori Ibiki is alive in the world. What do you say? Brother Ibiki, he is still alive. Between the words, Yi Tuoshin's face was full of astonishment. Because in his memory, he thought his brother Ibiki should have died in action 3 years ago while saving him. "Why, you don't know?" Naruto replied. "Great." Yi Tuoshin spit out 3 words, and his heart was filled with infinite joy. Italian. Since you are the younger brother of open black lens bracket Ibiki sensei close black lens bracket, why are you not in Konoha, but in the remote town of open black lens bracket T country close black lens bracket? Naruto asked curiously. "It's my own business." Yi Tuoshin responded, but there was no following. He obviously didn't want to reveal the matter. Because for him, it was an unbearable past. "Yichuoshin, since you promised to obey my command, don't have the idea of acting without authorization. Otherwise, you won't be so lucky next time." "I see. Itaotin can only." "Okay, come with me." Voice fell, and Shiyu went directly to the north. Seeing this, Yi Tuoshin couldn't help asking, "How do you know that I want to go to the north? With your little thought, you still want to hide from me." Shiyu responded with a sound, and then explained, "After my 2-day investigation, I found that during this period, there will be a strong monsoon blowing in the waters nearby. When the game started just now, the clouds in the sky had already begun to drift past the starting point. If we followed the original route, it would be extremely difficult. But after the monsoon is blocked by the mountains, it will inevitably form a backflow, and this backflow is the fishing village in the north. As long as we arrive at the fishing village we will go with the wind, which will allow us to reach the opposite Kishima faster, so that we can reach the Mutalugi shrine 1 step ahead of our opponents." Hearing what Shiyu said, the 3 of them were amazed. Especially Yi Tuoshin, he didn't expect Shiyu to go to inquire about these things. And the analysis is not bad at all, which coincides with his thoughts. "Shiyu, you are really too smart." Naruto in the conversation looked at Shiyu with admiration. In his opinion, no one in the world could compare to the latter. Not only him, but even Sasuke. After being with Shiyu for a long time, he feels that he is not so talented anymore. "Yi Tuoshin, you should have prepared with both hands. If the monsoon hadn't picked up when you set off just now, you would have followed the original route. But unfortunately it blows up, so you choose the second option. If I guessed correctly, you should have prepared a boat in advance in Fishing Village." Hearing what Shiyu said, Yi Tuoshin was completely stunned, because Shiyu completely saw through his thoughts. In front of the former, he seemed to have no secrets at all. At this moment, Yi Tuoshin admired Shiyu from the bottom of his heart. He has seen smart people, but he has never seen someone as smart as Shiyu, which can be said to be extremely smart. In his opinion, even his older brother is not Shiyu. Shiyu, just laid down the demonic illusion should be the ninja invited by the Wako family. Quote. Sasuke asked. Shiyu nodded, and then said, "Just a few guys who hide their heads and show their tails, don't care." Shiyu didn't have time to play catch and hide with them, nor did he want to play with them. If they know each other, it's fine to give up. If they don't, then there is only death waiting for them. Immediately after, Itaoshin was also like Naruto and Sasuke, the two younger brothers, obediently following behind Shiyu. At the same time, the boat of the runner Yakashi Fukusuke, of the Wakashiko family, encountered a strong monsoon on the original route and could no longer travel normally. After a while, Shiyu and the four of them successfully arrived at the fishing village. Shiyu also said, "Go and show the boat you have prepared." Yi Tuoshin nodded, and then knocked on a wooden house. Boom, boom. Then, an old grandfather walked out of the wooden house. When the latter saw Yi Tuoshin, he also smiled slightly and said immediately, "Yichuoshin, you are here." Old man, where is the boat I asked you to prepare?" The old grandfather who heard the words nodded, then brought Yi Tuoshin and others to the beach and pointed to the best ship. "Well, that's it. This is the fastest boat we have here." After hearing the words of Yi Tuoshin, after expressing a polite thanks to the grandfather, Shiyu and the four of them also set foot on the boat and sailed towards Key Island. However, shortly after Shiyu and the others set off, a ship appeared behind them. Were three people standing on the boat, three Omegakers. To Shiyu's surprise, they had even met before. Especially one of them, their impression is quite deep. The name open black lens bracket Omegakure close black lens bracket is the first person they met in open black lens bracket Death Forest close black lens bracket in open black lens bracket Chunin second exam close black lens bracket, that. The one who was tied up for fishing by them. Forcing. Maybe it's because the enemy's road is narrow. Or maybe it's because of fate. But what makes Shiyu slightly puzzled is that the six of them in Death Forest were all cowardly to die. But now there are only three of them. Why did they dare to shoot Ding? Please download Feifei. Chapter 138 Inches Thunder Sword, and Forbidden Scroll. Seeing a boat following closely behind, Sasuke also reminded. "No, there is an ambush." "Hey, I just found out now, it's too late." That Omegakure named Zeboyu laughed darkly. "It's you." The ringer exclaimed in surprise. "I didn't expect that the ninja sent by Konoha turned out to be the three of you. It's really a narrow road for enemies." Zeboyu gave a reply, and then said, just in time to avenge the last revenge. Death Forest. That incident was undoubtedly humiliating to him. "You are a defeated general, haven't you suffered enough last time?" Hearing Naruto's words, Zeboyu disagreed and said slowly. "If it's on the shore, we really can't beat you. But in water, that's another story." Indeed, Omegakure's combat effectiveness in water will be significantly improved, because the ninjutsu they use are basically Suiton, water style. That's why they didn't show up in the forest just now. 437. The reason, however, Shiyu didn't pay any attention to Zeboyu's confidence. Because the three of them were nothing in Shiyu's eyes, they didn't give him any interest at all. "Naruto, Sasuke. These three garbage will be handed over to you." "Good." The two said in unison. The current battle is undoubtedly an opportunity to test their cultivation achievements. Seeing himself and others being ignored by Shiyu like this, Zeboyu's lungs were about to explode with anger. He was also the first freshman in this class of Omegakure Village, and he was an outstanding existence among the genins of Omegakure Village, but Tokyo looked down on him like that. Scale, Kuhi, the battle begins. Hearing Zeboyu's words, the other two Omegakures also nodded. A Omegakure named Bitter Lotus directly took out the bow and crossbow in the back, and wanted to use the long-distance hidden weapon to consume the three Shiyu. Ha, 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 3 arrows were fired in unison, shooting at Tokyo and the others. Seeing this, Itoden, Sasuke, and Naruto were about to avoid it when an ice shield suddenly appeared in front of them. Dang, 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 blocked the 3 arrows without any suspense. This move is obviously from Shiyu's hand. Open black lens bracket ice shield secret technique Binyantengu close black lens bracket. Seeing this scene, Zeboyu and the 3 of them were also extremely shocked. Especially the guy named Scale. He seemed to see something and said with a look of astonishment. Rain, Kuhi, that ninjutsu seems to be the long-lost ice shield of Kurigakure village. Ice shield. Zibo-yu and Kuhi chanted at the same time, but they still didn't know why. As genin, they still know very little about the so-called bloodstain boundary. There is also that Scale. It seems that he has heard of it there, otherwise, he would not be able to catch the clue at a glance. You may be unfamiliar with ice shield, but you should know about bloodstain boundary. Scale. Open black lens bracket bloodstain limit close black lens bracket. Jiboyu muttered, and then said, just the next time LV Chinkui teacher told us about that bloodstain limit. Seeing Lin nodding, Zibo-yu and Kuhi were completely stunned. Bloodstain boundary, in addition to innate inheritance, heaven comprehends, and the former has the highest probability. Why don't we leave? Scale suggested. However, his voice fell, and Shiyu's voice sounded slowly. I want to go now, it's too late. Sasuke, Naruto, and Itaden don't need to worry about the safety of you, go and solve the three of them for me. Hearing Tokiyu's words, Naruto and Sasuke didn't talk nonsense and rushed directly to each other's ships. Looking at Naruto and Sasuke who fell in front of him, Shiba-yu also said, Kuhi, they burned their ships. Ah, I see. There was also a look of joy on Kuhi's face in response, and he obviously understood Jiboyu's intentions. Their Omegakure can stay in the water for a long time, but Tokiyu and others may not. As long as the ship is burned and there is no place to stand, no matter how strong the opponent is, they can slowly grind it to death. They might be able to deal with other people with this idea, but here at Shiyu, it is undoubtedly too naive. Immediately after, Kuhi didn't talk nonsense, and used his own ninjutsu. Open black lens bracket Sweden, water style, black rain technique close black lens bracket. In the next second, a black rain suddenly fell in the small world where Tokiyu and the others were. Others don't know what this black rain is, but Shiyu knows exactly what it is. These open black lens bracket black rain close black lens bracket are oils that burn instantly when they touch the fire. It was precisely because the opponent had such a hand that Shiyu chose to use open black lens bracket Binyantengu close black lens bracket instead of open black lens bracket Jiden, magnet style, latte close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket latte technique close black lens bracket. You can control bows and arrows with iron, but you can't stop this open black lens bracket black rain close black lens bracket. When the black rain poured down from the sky, Shiyu created a huge ice wall to block the sky, so that not a single drop of the black rain could fall on the ship. Seeing this scene, Kuhi was also shocked. Everything is blocked. Open black lens bracket black rain close black lens bracket. If they are blocked, their battle plan will be invisible. Looking at the huge ice wall, Shiba-yu, who was fighting with Sasuke, bit Kiba and said, that guy is too strong. And Shiyu didn't worry about their situation at all, and said slowly, Naruto, Sasuke. Come on, we'll see you at the end. Bang, bang, Naruto and Sasuke smashed the opponent's water away at the same time, and each replied. No problem. Good. Hearing the answers of the two, Shiyu turned to Yituo Heavenly Path. Why are you still standing there? Take the helm. Good. After controlling the ship to keep away from a certain distance, Itoshin also asked, are the two of them all right? Don't worry, they are strong. Shiyu's words are not bragging. Besides open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Chidori close black lens bracket, the two of them now each have a powerful trump card. Naruto's Kyuubi, Nine Tails power. Sasuke's Curse Seal power. As long as this power is used, either of them can single out the other three. Shiyu and the others sailed farther and farther, and Naruto and the others were no longer visible. After half an hour, Tokiyu and Itoden finally arrived at open black lens bracket Key Island close black lens bracket. However, As soon as they got ashore, they ran into someone. Be precise, it is a ninja. When Itoshin saw this person, there was a strong anger on his face, and he wanted to tear the person in front of him into pieces. This ninja is the Konoha Chunin who deceived him back then. Open black lens bracket green aoi close black lens bracket. This guy used Itoshin to steal the weapon open black lens bracket thunder sword close black lens bracket and a volume of open black lens bracket forbidden scroll close black lens bracket from open black lens bracket second Hokage close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket forbidden scroll close black lens bracket. It was later taken back by Ibiki, 1. But the thunder sword is still in his hands. Because of this, he who originally only had the strength of Chunin, was promoted to Jonin by virtue of the strength of Thunder Sword after he joined a Megakure village. Yichuoshin, we meet again. Green, why? LV Chinkui looked at Yitoshin biting Kiba's teeth and sneered. Oh, are you still the same? A useless betrayer like you, if it wasn't for Ibiki, you wouldn't be able to live to this day. Well, I'll give you a ride today. Between the words, Liv Chinkui's sworn expression, as if Itoshin was already dead. As for Shiyu, he is completely treated as heir. In his opinion, Shiyu is just a humble genin, and it will be solved later. However, he is destined to pay a heavy price for his idea. Fei Lu reminds you. Chapter 139 Ninja, thousands of books like rain. LV Chinkui is really too capable of pretending to be forceful, so he caught Yitoshin and gave a lecture. If you want to say a few words, Shiyu can endure it. After all, watching the play is also good, but if he talks endlessly, it can't be endured. I said that green hat, are you finished with your persecution? When Shiyu said these words, both Yitoshin and LV Chinkui were stunned. Neither of them thought that Shiyu would dare to speak like this in the face of a Jonin. Is this ignorance, or is he really talented? But in the eyes of the two, they are more inclined to the former. Itautien knows that Tokiyu is stronger than the genin of ordinary people, but it is only a genin. What's more, he is now facing Jonin Luchinkui who is holding the Thunder God Sword. With such a huge gap, the latter must have no chance of winning. Lu Chinkui glanced at Shiyu, and then said disdainfully. Yo, the current Konoha genin is really arrogant. Since you want to die so much, then I will fulfill you. Lu Chinkui, who was speaking, was obviously angry, although he had green hair and a green in his name. But what he can't bear is that others call him Green Hat. Because 3 years ago, he killed a pair of dogs and men in a rage because he was green with his girlfriend. In order to escape the pursuit of Konoha, he chose to betray Konoha. Green Aoi, who finished speaking, stopped talking nonsense, and threw the 6 ninja umbrella into the sky. Just use this trick to send you on your way. Open black lens bracket ninja dharma is like 1,000 copies of rain and dew close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket thousands of books like rain and dew close black lens bracket. Let the oil umbrella in your hand fly above the enemy, and then drop countless thousand books from the umbrella to attack the enemy. These 1,000 books can penetrate 5 mm iron plates. This technique is one of the representative hidden weapon ninjutsu of a Megakure village. If Lu Chinkui can use this technique, it is enough to see the anger in his heart. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Iron 1,000 poison needles shot continuously from Ninja Umbrella to Tokiha and Itaden on the ground. In LV Chinkui's view, with the strength of Shiyu and the two of them, there is absolutely no possibility of escape. As long as the last one hits the 1,000 poison needle, even if he doesn't do it, he will die from the poison in a short time. Seeing this unavoidable 1,000 poisonous needles, Yitoshin was completely desperate. This time without Ibiki to protect him, he felt that he would die, and he was weak and gave up resistance completely. Closed his eyes directly and was ready to meet death. Just when Itoshin raised this idea, Lu Chinkui was ready to meet the victory. Next second, a strange scene happened. I saw that the 1,000 poison needle that should have landed on Shiyu and Yitoshin was now suspended in the air strangely. Although the distance between the two of them was only 10 centimeters, they could no longer advance in the slightest. After being stunned for a while, Lu Qinghui also exclaimed, "What's going on here?" And Yi Tuoshan also opened his eyes because of this exclamation, but he was also dumbfounded when he saw this strange scene. Lv Qinghui may not know who did it, but Yi Tuoshan had a vague guess, and his eyes fell directly on Shiyu who was beside him. Seeing the latter's calm expression at this time, he became more and more sure of his own thoughts. Did he really do this? Just when such thoughts rose in his heart, Shiyu moved his hand, and the 1,000 poison needles floating in the air all gathered on Shiyu's palm. Of this scene undoubtedly confirmed Yi Tuoshan's thoughts. Green Hat, what else do you have to do? I don't have time to play with you, young master. You. Lv Qinghui hesitated for a moment, then said, "Little devil, I admit that I underestimated you just now. Although I don't know what method you used to control my hidden weapon, these little tricks can't change the result." "Oh yeah, underscore." Shiyu responded lightly, and then said, "I think you should think about how to take these 1,000 poison needles. Open black lens bracket Jiden, magnet style, latte close black lens bracket." With a low voice in his heart, Shiyu controlled the dozens of open black lens bracket 1,000 poison needles close black lens bracket in his hand and shot them from all directions towards Lv Qinghui. This move is more brilliant than ninja as rain and do thousands of books because he doesn't have any dead ends. Damn. Seeing this, Lv Qinghui let out a low voice in his throat, and immediately took out his most proud weapon, Thunder God Sword. Swish. Thunder Sword swiped around the body, and the dazzling golden lightning directly blocked all the 1,000 poison needles. This second-generation Hokage ninja tool really lives up to its reputation, and it can actually emit the power of thunder and lightning when waving it. There is a special rune ninjutsu hidden in the hilt of the Thunder Sword. As long as the thunder attribute chakra is injected, it can condense the sword body with a solid body, and when the sword body is swayed, a dazzling thunder can be erupted. Seeing this, Yi Tuoshan exclaimed in surprise. "That's Thunder Sword. Nice." Lu Qinghui responded lightly, and then said, "You must know everyone, after all, you are the one who stole it in the first place." Damn. Yi Tuoshan also bit Kiba and smashed it lightly, and there was a slow regret in his eyes. If it wasn't for him believing the former by mistake, he wouldn't have fallen so far, let alone the current scene. This is Thunder Sword, it looks pretty good. Shiyu touched his chin and continued, "I have decided to keep it as one of my collections." When Shiyu said these words, Lv Qinghui and Yi Tuoshan were stunned for a while, they both thought they had heard it wrong. Little devil. Am I hearing it wrong or is it really just a fool? You'll know that soon enough. Shiyu chuckled lightly, and then took out a big hand. As his fingers exerted a slight force, the Thunder God Sword in Lu Qinghui's hand suddenly became uncontrollable and moved directly in the direction of Shiyu. It's magnetism. When the voice fell, Lv Qinghui immediately attached chakra to his hand and wrapped the hilt of the Thunder Sword. Thunder Sword, the body of the sword is condensed by chakra, but the hilt is made of iron. It was also at this moment that Lu Qinghui finally knew how Shiyu had controlled his 1,000 poison needles. But what made him wonder is that if it was just a simple magnet, it wouldn't be able to manipulate iron products as freely as he did. After a short thought, his eyes suddenly lit up, and 2 words 37 were spit out from his mouth one after another that shocked him. Jiden, magnet style. It's Jiden, magnet style. As the former Chunin of Konoha, and the current Jonin of a Megakure village, naturally, he still has some knowledge. Looks like you're not stupid. Seeing Shiyu did not deny it, and there was a deep shock on his face. He has been in Konoha for more than 20 years and has never heard of any family in Konoha who owns Jiden magnet style S blood limit. In his opinion, Shiyu should not be a native of Kimura. Because most of the bloodstain boundary are inherited by blood. And he obviously obliterated the possibility that Shiyu had realized it himself, because this idea was too unrealistic. If bloodstain limit is so easy to comprehend, then there will not be so few bloodstain limit in the world. However, one thing is right. Open black lens bracket Jiden magnet style close black lens bracket was not something Tokiyu realized by himself. It was a gift from Tokiyu when he obtained the open black lens bracket power of Shukaku close black lens bracket. But even without Shukaku's gift, with Tokiyu's current talent, he can completely rely on his own comprehension. Little devil, I have seen through your ability of bloodstain boundary. As long as I throw away things with iron, or directly attached to chakra to isolate the magnetic force, you will not be a threat to me. Hearing Lu Qinghui's confident words, Shiyu smiled slightly. What are you laughing at? I laugh at you for being an idiot. Shiyu replied, and then said, who told you that I only have one kind of blood stain limit? As soon as these words came out, Lu Qinghui was instantly dumbfounded. Please download Feifei. Chapter 140 Shikuden, Scorched Style Extremely Steaming Murder. At this moment, LV Qinghui was stunned. And Yi Tuoshan was completely at a loss, because he didn't even know what the blood stain boundary was. However, from Lu Qinghui's tone, Yi Tuoshan understood that this thing should be very powerful. Because the Omegakure trio was the same before. The mention of the blood stain boundary was extremely shocking, and they all had the idea of retreating. And just when LV Qinghui was in shock, Shiyu had already made his move. At this moment, two strands of chakra with different attributes in Shiyu's body began to fuse under Shiyu's control. One is fire attribute chakra. The other is wind attribute chakra. With Shiyu's current talent, it is only a matter of a moment to realize a new kind of blood stain boundary. There is no extra nonsense, some are just a low drink. Open black lens bracket Shikuden, Scorched Style Extremely Steaming Murder close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Shikuden, Scorched Style Extremely Steaming Murder close black lens bracket. The combination of Kaden fire style and Futon wind style spews Yuhi, colored chakra fireballs. Once it touches the opponent's body, it will evaporate the water in the opponent's body and turn it into a mummy. It is known that the ninja possessing Shikuden, Scorched Style, is the Yi Kang of Kingdom of Wind. Shiyu performed the Shikuden, Scorched Style technique without a hand seal at all, and the speed is completely surpassed. Imagination of the green sunflower. But when he reacted, it was too late to dodge. In this regard, he could only use Thunder Sword to resist. Although Thunder Sword was strong, Lu Qinghui's own strength was too weak. The strength of the sword is too ordinary, and it is impossible to resist the flaming ball. Dang! The blade of Thunder Sword instantly evaporated the second it touched the flaming ball, and it was simply vulnerable. Although this burning ball was blocked by Thunder Sword, Shiyu was far more than sending out a burning ball. If the Thunder Sword condensed by chakra is not evaporated, then he still has a glimmer of hope. But now, his ending is doomed. Under the terrified eyes of LV Qinghui, two burning balls instantly fell on him. Hiss, hiss. With the faint sound of two colors, Lu Qinghui's body is drying up at a speed visible to the naked eye. Because it is still attached to the burning effect, there is still gas coming out during the period. Ah! Under the terrified scream of LV Qinghui, in just a few breaths, he turned into a mummified corpse. I'm afraid LV Qinghui didn't even think that Shiyu had a master other than Jiden magnet style, in addition to Jiden magnet style. If he has enough strength, Shiyu doesn't mind letting him see a few more. But unfortunately, he is too weak. Lu Qinghui's strength is only that of Chunin. If he hadn't held the Thunder Sword, he wouldn't have become a Jonin. This scene undoubtedly stunned Yi Tuoshan. Boom! When Lu Qinghui's mummy fell on the ground, Yi Tuoshan came back to his senses in panic. Although Lu Qinghui's death made him very happy, he never imagined that the latter would die at the hands of Shiyu. Moreover, he was killed in seconds. That's why he looked at Shiyu with awe and fear. One move directly killed Lu Qinghui, who possessed the Thunder Sword, and you told me that this was a genin. He wouldn't believe it if he was killed. When Yi Tuoshan was still immersed in a dazed state, Shiyu picked up the Thunder Sword. After watching it for a while, he muttered to himself. It's a good weapon. Unfortunately, I don't have lightning attribute chakra. For this, Shiyu is also very helpless. However, he is not in a hurry. As long as there is a system in hand, it is only a matter of time to have lightning attribute chakra. The voice fell, and Shiyu directly put away the thunder sword. After doing this, Shiyu's eyes fell on Yi Tuoshin just now, and said lightly. Come on, time waits for no one. Shiyu's tone was light, as if nothing had happened just now. Ah! At this moment, Yi Tuoshin undoubtedly obeyed Shiyu's words. The latter not only helped him avenge his deceit, but also taught him the importance of being a companion. Because without Shiyu, he would have died long ago. Looking at Shiyu in front of him, he suddenly understood why he was eliminated in the first round of the Chunin exam. Because he doesn't cherish his comrades. Without the obstruction of ninjas, Shiyu and the others are also unimpeded along the way. Soon the two of them came to the turning point in the middle Mutori Lugi Shrine. However, Yafukusuke of the Wakoko family had already obtained the Dragon Treasure Jade one step ahead. Therefore, Yi Tuoshin, who came a step late, could only take the remaining open black lens bracket Tiger Treasure Jade close black lens bracket. The next step is to compete for real strength. Open black lens bracket Yaku Fukusuke close black lens bracket. Although he is known as Flying Legs, he is only an ordinary person and doesn't know how to use chakra at all. And although Yi Tuoshin is a genin, it is not difficult for him to traverse the jungle at all. Although he was a step late, he took a shortcut and reached the finish line first, Hangtaisha, and won the final victory. When Ida-Tien won the victory, Naruto and Sasuke also rushed to the scene, and saw the scene of victory. At this moment, everyone is cheering for it. Because this result is their dream, and they have long been disgusted by the way of the Hejiazi family's governance. And Ida-Oshin's victory was undoubtedly announcing that the Wamanui family had won the dominance of Mustard Port Town, which was the result they most wanted to see. Because open black lens bracket Jiro Wasabi close black lens bracket is their favorite leader. Next, the daimyo of Tea Country came out to announce the result, and because of the 4-year atrocities of the Wako family, their group was completely disbanded, and they were not allowed to gather for the rest of their lives. This result is undoubtedly very happy. In this way, they, Jigang Town, will no longer be oppressed and threatened by Hejiazi's family. Seeing this scene, Naruto also shouted excitedly. Shiyu, it seems that my mission has been successfully completed, hehe. Tokyu nodded, then looked at Sasuke. He asked profoundly, Sasuke, after this battle on the water, have you discovered your own shortcomings? Well, I even managed to walk on the water. Sasuke between the words looked at Naruto, because the latter can already run on the water. In this regard, he must have a little bit of jealousy in his heart. Just now Uncle Jiro told me that Konoha's boat will just pass by here in a few days, and then we can take a downwind boat and go back. So, these days, I will let you master this skill. Hearing Tokyu's words, Sasuke's heart was also extremely excited. As long as the master masters this skill, then his combat power on the water will be greatly enhanced, and he will not be in the limelight by Naruto before. 2 days passed in a flash. Sasuke's learning speed is very fast. Although he can't walk fast on the water in 2 days, walking is no longer a problem. The rest of the practice is up to him. In addition to his own talent, he can achieve such fast results with the foundation laid by the last time he practiced climbing trees in the Land of Waves. At noon, Konoha's ship has already docked. Whether by coincidence or intentional arrangement, they also know the leader of the ship. It is Morino Ibiki, Ida-Tien's older brother. 3 things to study.